Recording in progress.
Stopping in, we been tapping in, we ain't never late. Dropping gems, we been locking in. Now let's elevate. Took else to win, running laps again. This is steady race. People's champ, boy, yeah, you know I've been the heavyweight. Stopping in, we been tapping in, we ain't never late. Dropping gems, we been locking in. Now let's elevate. Took else to win, running laps again. This is steady race. People's champ, boy, yeah, you know I've been the heavyweight.
This is Drake Bot. Why'd you say that's what's up like that? You said it, you're like, that's what's up. What's going on, y'all? Episode 63. I want to fix your shirt right quick. I think it'll be all right. Episode 63. Today is December 10th.
Good mood.
The Happy Indigenous Peoples Day.
Hey.
I'm going to say it. Your boys is back in the building. Been so long. The heat's been on. But as usual, I am your host, the diabolical diabetic, the 5XL assassin, your boy, the big nasty. And to my right is the high yellow hitman, the freaking deacon, Coach Buck, my little dumpling, Uncle Raisin. What's going on, man? How you doing?
It's good till you pull the hair off my face. It's already
chin.
It's already patchy. Don't see anything Luda, all right? I spent some time watching a ludicrous Queen Latifah Netflix movie that I've not even added to the docket because it was so terrible.
This weekend is the 19-year anniversary of Ludacris's Chicken and Beer album, so you know I was listening to it all weekend. Stand up!
You know your other boy was at the Big E?
Nelly?
Yeah. I did not know.
I did. I was like, I hate the Big E, so I didn't go. So.
Oh, yeah. I feel you. But now I'm doing good, man. You know, I'm excited to be here podding. How was your...
I think this is our first pod in October, and we're 10 days into October.
Wow.
That's how long we definitely missed a week.
Forgive us. Duty be calling. Life be strenuous sometimes. But we here for y'all. And we got...
I don't.
Wow.
That's what Rick Ross says.
Rick Ross we're also not bringing him up after whatever he did to the Isley brothers.
The richest niggas that I ever been.
Stricken from the record.
Yeah.
But I'm good, man. How about you?
Yeah, man, I'm chilling. I'm like, I'm super excited. I'm going to the Eagles game this weekend, Eagles-Cowboys.
Oh, so don't say Eagles-Cowboys. You said the Eagles game, which means you have intentions of the Eagles winning this game.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely going Eagles out. Everybody when they see me there, they're going to think that I'm from Philly.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like, oh, shit, Beanie Siegel's Dominican cousin or something like that? Like,
hey, don't go looking for Shorty that Vikings fan was looking for. You see that video where the girl's standing there and the Vikings fan's just like... It went viral, the whole video.
No.
Yeah, the Eagles are smacking the Vikings, and like the girl's like she's presently presented, I guess. That's a nice way to say it. But she's standing there watching the game, and like somebody's taking a picture of her watching the game, and in the background you just see the Vikings fan like. It's like mad awkward.
I have not seen this.
I'm like, to be caught out there. It's like, imagine going home and your wife's like, enjoy the game. Yeah, I didn't put that brother on blast.
Everybody keeps asking me too. They're like, "Oh, you're gonna wear like Dolphins gear? You gotta wear Dolphins gear?" I was like, "I am not gonna be that guy."
Right.
Like, if the Dolphins aren't playing, I'm obviously I don't like. I've gone to Patriots games wearing Dolphins gear and been the only guy in there, and they talk to you wild crazy. But like, my thing is like, I can't stand watching a game, and it'll be like the Chiefs versus the Bills, and they'll zoom into the crowd and be like, "When are they gonna Steelers jersey?" And I'm like, "Bro, why are you here, right, bro? Like, don't be that guy.
Why are you here?
Just wear like a plain black shirt or something like that.
Or support the team that you want to win. It's okay to be a fan for that team for the day. Like,
look, I'm gonna be Phillied out. That's for sure.
All right. Yeah, my son just recently went to his first NFL game with his homie and one of his old coaches.
Who'd they go to?
The Detroit Patriot game.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, they're definitely Detroit fans. And I texted my son, I was like, must be a quiet ride home.
Yeah, right. Because I know it's quiet in my fantasy league this week. Because, you know, I got Goff, I got Amar Ron, I got Hawkinson, and they didn't do it.
I started Goff this week, too, and that joint was not a quick turnaround. Unlike...
I don't know, like our boy G Head over at Custom Merch on IG and Etsy. You go to IG and Etsy, search up Custom Merch. Enter the promo code Heavyweight Bros, spelled HW, the number 8BROS, to save you 10% off your order. Because the more you spend,
the more you save.
Are we gonna ever talk about like how flawlessly I just do, like I have that shit off the top of my head though?
You said it. 63 times. You should have it together by now.
One of these days, I'm gonna pick it up, and I'm gonna see if you could if you could bang it out the way that I just banged it out.
All right.
Let's see if it's a quick turnaround or not.
It is. It's gonna be a real quick turnaround. I'm like, shout out to Garb.
Trash.
Custom merch.
Trash.
Matter of fact, you know what we'll do? I'll get Homecookin out of the way with some congratulations.
Okay.
All right. So while we always shout out the homie
Coming home again.
Thank you.
No
while we always shout out the homie G had for the custom merch.
Yep.
A lot of people don't know that his sister has like an essential oil and soaps type thing called Beauty Within.
I didn't know they needed to.
Right in the Eastville Mall. Okay. And now she's getting another shop open up in the Hampshire Mall, I want to say. Yeah. But things are looking up. And
underrated mall, by the way. I've been going
Hampshire Mall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where the ABC pizza place is that we go to.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So yeah, that is an underrated mall. It's kind of like
it's like an event mall.
It's like a not dead Eastville Mall.
It's what the Eastville Mall should be.
Yes.
It has the trampoline parks. It has it's a good date spot.
Right.
There's stuff to do everywhere in there. That's what it should be.
Right. But yeah, shout out to Crystal.
Boop, 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 boop.
Yeah,
West Side.
Yeah, if you ever get a chance to check out with her, like I said, it's I want to say, you know what? I'm just gonna make sure I have it right. All right, because I don't like messing up people's stuff. All right.
Oh, that a fumble.
You call that? What'd you call it?
A fumble.
A fumble?
Yeah, that's what I did the hands too.
That's what it would be called. That's definitely what it would be called.
Looking at you search through IG is painful to watch.
Listen,
you sure you don't want to just move on?
No, I don't want to move on because I want to give credit where credit's due. I know. You're supposed to be. You're supposed to hold me down like I will hold you down.
But like I don't understand. Like this is what I'm trying to. I'm trying to have like witty banter to like fill this air, and it's like not giving me much. But like I can feel you sweating. Like it's like. But it's like, this is crazy. Right like, just hit the magnifying glass and type her name in, bro. Down at the bottom, there's a magnifying glass. Type her name in. Come on, you got this. I believe in you. I'm trying to fill this.
That's what it's called. It's called the Raw Beauty brand. There you go. The Raw Beauty brand. Raw Beauty brand. All right, and if you go to Eastville Mall,
5 times fast right now.
Raw Beauty brand. Yep, that happened.
I'm glad you gave it like an honest try.
So if you go into the Eastville Mall's main entrance and you take a left, right where Olympia Sports used to be.
Okay.
And the big water fountain.
Yeah.
She has a stand right there.
Okay.
And then I think there's like another like big shop area in Hampshire Mall where there's going to be several vendors in there. And she has a place where it's going to be right in there. So
that's what's up. Shout out to that.
Yeah, it's a pretty dope situation. So, a lot of people don't like to see people winning, but we like to see people winning here. All right, so keep up the good work. All right, so we can mosey on from that into digging in the crates. No diggity, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and the one thing we have on the docket for today is Freddie Gibbs, sold separately. Say that 5 times fast.
Sold separately, sold separately, sold separately, sold separately, sold separately, sold separately.
That was only 4.
Sold separately.
It was 5, but that's pretty impressive. I'm like, we're hitting right now.
You trying. They don't want to see you winning. Well, Dave.
But I have not had a chance to get to this. No, listen, do not give me don't give me a hard time about this because we got to get into another section right after this where I'm gonna give you a break.
Let me ask you this: what's the last album, last new album that you listened to that we were supposed to listen to?
JID.
Damn, that was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome for that. I gotta say, that was like 2 months ago.
It's still rocking. I don't know what you want me to tell you. I don't know what you want me to tell you. No, I did listen to the what you call it, but it was like you said, it was kind of like repetitive. She's from Dreamville.
So Ari
Lennox. So yeah, it was kind of like I did kind of feel like I was listening to the same song throughout the whole album.
It's like she was going for the vibe instead of like So like
it's like playing Assassin's Creed.
Okay, I mean sure.
It's a fun game, but it's like you're doing the same thing the entire game.
So like I know this is gonna get us like a little bit off track, but it was like I always used to think about like if I was to be a rapper.
Okay.
Like it's like what does your album sound like?
Okay.
And it's like you got your club song,
mm-hmm.
you got your song for the hood,
mm-hmm.
you got the song for the ladies,
mm-hmm.
then you got like some sort of like anthem, like whatever it may be. If you can have a song that has a dance in it, boom, that's 5 songs like off the rip that you're supposed to have, and it's like each one of those songs is supposed to have a different vibe. And then it's like, you know, you got the one song that's like is really real or like real gutter, or then you got the one that you flex like your lyrical capability, whether you're going like super fast or like you do like a Nas rewind thing where like you're talking from the perspective of a gun, like your one high concept song.
Mm-hmm.
And then like you kind of fill in through there.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like people don't do that formula anymore. I feel like they're just like, I found a dope beat and it's just like I'm either gonna ride this beat or like I'm gonna do that or whatever. And I'm not saying that about this Freddie Gibbs album, but I'm just saying like just like in general, I just feel like that's the type of thing that's missing is like people are stepping away from that formula and they're stepping more into the formula of like, well, this is just the type of music that I want to make. Where it's like, I'm trying to think of a pretty good example, like Styles P, for instance. Styles P has been rapping for 15 years. He rap about the same 3 things all the time.
Probably been longer than that.
At 20 years, 25 years. Want to go 25?
I'm going 30.
30 years Styles P has been rapping. Countless mixtapes, countless songs. He's either talking about getting high, beating somebody up or robbing somebody.
Taking care of your body.
Taking care of you. Now he's rapping about taking care of your body. Or whatchamacallit, just doing hood shit. And like somehow, somebody, like it keeps working. But it's just like, you know, he's in his bag. But it was like back in the day, like he did have to do like the wild outs, the ride or die chicks. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like
shiny suits.
Yeah, you gotta get in that bag. I know that like that got mad off topic what we talked about, but it's just like,
so
like for it, I was just listening to this Ludacris album, like, you know what I'm saying, like it was whatever, and it's like he does that, like he's like he has a song where he's talking about getting high. He's got the stand up, which is like the club it. He's got the splash waterfalls, which is for like the ladies. He's got the blow it out your ass, where he's doing the whatchamacallit, like, you know, he's testing like his lyrical ability on that, and then it's like he's got like We Got, which is like the street stuff, and it's like the P poppin', like, yeah. P poppin', that's the whatchamacallit, that's the uncut, that's the strip club
all these names that you're ripping up right now. Because every time you say the title, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that song, but I would not remember the title of the song. So it's pretty impressive.
You know who we're talking about here,
right?
But it was like I was listening to it with my brother. He was like, "Wow, these are like the first 5 songs in this album," and I was like, "Yeah, bro." I was like, "This was a big one," and I was like, "And this was right before Get Rich or Die Trying came out and changed like the whole landscape and everything."
Right.
But I was like, "This was my personal favorite Ludacris album. I don't think it's his best, but I think it's my favorite."
So I think for me, and then we can get on to the Freddie Gibbs album because we completely forgot about this man, right?
Yeah.
But like I don't know if you ever sat like in a studio session before.
Yeah.
All right. So like people kind of like there's a lot of music happening before a lot of music recording happens.
Absolutely.
So it's like a lot of people are like you're in the vibe. People are chilling, kicking it. Like people get to freestyling around the room and stuff like that, clowning and laughing. And then something hits where it's like, yo, this beat is tough. Like I might actually want to write something to like, this is the vibe. I'm gonna lay this track down, and that's what makes like the experience of getting to that track is what makes the track fire. And then when you get to share that with people, like it makes it even that much more like iconic. I would say. And I feel like a lot, and I'm not saying that's what Ari Lennox did or anybody else, but I just feel like that process of creativity is probably what's falling behind. I think people are just like, this is the idea that I have. This is how I wanted to get done. Let me come in here and record this as quick as possible.
You know what I think it is? Is the people who used to be like, yo, I needed this, I needed that, the record execs, they're not really there anymore. A lot more artists are way more independent now. So they're only making the type of music that I want to make. And it's like, that's not a bad thing. But I think there's like direction. I think when you take that away though, is like you're forcing you to come out of your comfort zone to try to make something where it's like, I'm sure people didn't expect that they could make a song like that. Or like I'm trying to think of like an example song, which I don't really have one, but it's just like they wouldn't be like, oh, like I don't make songs for ladies, like I don't do stuff like that or whatever. But then it's like someone's like, no, you need to have a song on here that has for ladies. I don't care what you got to do, you got to figure it out. The Lox, I guess like the Lox would be like a pretty good example. I think Tupac was like he changed his way, but I think he was always like a little softer in the beginning, anyways.
LL.
I mean, that's just ladies. His whole name is Ladies Love Cool J's. That's just who he is.
Yeah, but he still had joints as like I'm bad.
Yeah, I mean that's the first one.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I mean, I get it. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Like just being able to like the same thing we would say when we talk about actors. Like you're so great at comedy, but I would like to see you in a serious role, or I would like to see you play like a serial killer or something, just to show people your range. And I think that's what a lot of producers probably try to do with their artists, which is a good point. I don't profess to be like a professional like studio dweller where I know how these processes are supposed to happen, but it's just like I do feel like you can tell the difference in what's happening based on the people that you want to hear a lot of, and the people that's like, okay, that is okay music, but I'm not going back to it.
You know what you said, and it just made me think of like when you were just like, I'm not a person who pretends to be like a radio thing. Mm-hmm. Did you ever see the video of like LeBron James trying to explain the 2 Chainz like a deluxe album?
No.
Where it's one of the funniest videos where it's just like he's in the studio.
He serious?
He's so serious. Like LeBron is so serious. Like they're in the studio and like 2 Chainz is like playing them like his new album, and like LeBron's doing a thing where he's just like, He's like, yo, what you need to do? He's like, yo, you put these first 8 songs out here. Like, you know, saying get the juices going, get everybody feeling. 2 weeks later, 2 more songs. A month later, 2 more songs. That way they just keep coming back and keep going. And I'm like, nigga, that's a deluxe album. Like, that's exactly like and 2 Chainz is like, yeah. Like, that sounds real good. But it's like, LeBron, like, we know how to, like, what are you talking about? Like, yo, we know what
I'm about to say something crazy.
You about to say shut up and dribble? Don't do that.
I'm about to say that. But that sounds crazy. Yo, chill.
All right, Freddie Gibbs, sold separately.
There you go.
So the album has about 15 tracks on it. It's about a 45-minute album. Okay. It's real smooth, dope lyrical stuff. Okay. I did want to put like the other artists who are on here.
Okay.
His first song has Kelly Price. Okay. Kelly Price made a comeback.
Okay.
We got Offset, Moneybagg Yo, Rick Ross, Anderson .Paak, Raekwon the Chef, DJ Paul, Pusha T, Music Soul Child, and Scarface.
Those are all great choices.
They're great.
Those are
great
Offset,
features.
Is Offset the one member that's not part of
the Migos right now? Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Who's like apparently rumors are is that he smashed Quavo's shorty, and that's one of the reasons why he's out. The girl Sweetie. That's just the rumor. I'm just saying. That's what the Shade Room was talking about this week.
This seems to be a trend, man. I even seen the pictures of Antonio Brown and Giselle hugging. It's like,
but I think the standout track with Pusha T is like the song. Like if someone was like, I haven't listened to this yet, like what song should I listen to know if I want to listen to it? Mm-hmm. I think that's the one. And like Pusha T really does bring a whole different, like almost like cachet to it. It's like, ooh, he turned this song from like a B to like an A+. Like his verse is like that immaculate on it.
How's Freddie?
I think Freddie's is good, like on the whole album. I do think he runs the risk of also being like, I don't want to say mid, but it's just like he stays in his vibe for the most part too. Okay. Like we don't get like a real gritty Freddie. We don't get a real high Freddie. Like everything's kind of like at this level, and it's like I'm gonna be super lyrical and I'm super smooth, and the whole album is that. Like I think the whole aesthetic of this album is that like you're staying at like this luxurious hotel that they call like the Soul Separately Hotel or like whatever it may be. So like they're like different people will like like you'll hear them like making reservations and like doing all this other stuff or whatever. And it feels like that way. It feels like luxury rap. That's what it feels like, and it's like. It's dope, but like I don't think it's dope enough to crack like the top couple albums. Gotcha. I know that like you kind of have to compare them to them because like they're kind of like at odds right now. But it's like I do think it's better than Conway and Benny's albums. So like, but like however that makes you feel about it, like you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to it tonight.
I know we still haven't done our criteria of like what like. How many stars or like is it a must listen to? But if like I guess if I was to put a number like out of like 5, it's like a 3.5 out of 5.
Okay.
Where it's like it's super solid. I don't think
though because if you take away some of the features, does that make it like a 2?
No, because like I don't think for the most part like he gets rapped off of any of his songs besides that Pusha T one.
Okay.
Like the Pusha T one is the only one where I'm like, yeah, Pusha definitely had the best verse on here, but it's like Offset, Moneybagg Yo, like he's on a song with Scarface and like Raekwon, and it's like they're not rapping him off the track, like you know what I mean. And it's like I don't think that there's many songs to skip either, but it's like I think there's also not too many songs to skip because they're all like the same vibe.
Gotcha.
Like you know what I mean. So like there's nothing that's like knocking you like out of your seat. Like there hasn't besides the Pusha T verse. Like there was nothing that I was like, yo, run that back again. Like what was that? But at the same time, I was just like. I'm assuming this is for like people who are hotboxing, like listening to this album. Like that's what it's for.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. Well, if you want, we can move on to Insomnia Hour.
Let's do it.
All right. Why are you looking at? You
I was gonna
forgot.
say,
You
no.
forgot because you got like 3 intros.
I did like 4 of them in my head. Wake me up, because I was just like, yo, because I was like, wake up, wake up, and I was like, that's not it, and that's not it though.
That one. This man was like,
Wake me.
this man was like, yes, we are gonna move on.
I was still in the Freddie Gibbs state of mind. I'm sorry.
I thought you was looking for me to throw you an alley off the glass. Like, fam, I don't even have the ball right now.
So like, I feel like you've been waiting for us to get to this whole time because like you could finally lord something over me, because a lot of these, I'm an episode behind on quite a few of these shows.
All of them.
No, I didn't say all of them. I said a few of them.
We're about to find out right now.
But it's like more of the important ones.
We're about to find out right now. We're about to find out right now.
What episode are you on for Andor?
I told you I'm not watching that show.
Why are you not watching it? You watch Boba Fett, you watch Kenobi, and you watch The Mandalorian, but you won't watch Andor?
For some reason, I thought Andor was like connected to the Lord of the Rings. Andor is Star Wars?
It's Star Wars.
All right, I'm going to give it a shot.
Did you ever watch Rogue One?
No. Oh, so that's what it was. You asked me, did I watch Rogue One? And I said no.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was a connection to that. So is it connected to all these other ones that we're watching? Like Boba Fett and all that? Is there a connection there? Because if not...
spoiler alert, but like, this dude's dead. Like, he died a long time ago. Like,
yeah.
All right. So you know, in Star Wars, the original Star Wars series,
okay,
the main thing that they have to do is they have to destroy the Death Star.
Mm-hmm.
And in order for them to do that, they find about that exhaust port that Luke Skywalker has to shoot.
Yep.
And they tell him, we got this information. This is the layout for the Death Star.
Mm-hmm.
Rogue One is about the mission for the people that got the layout for him, so that way they can get that very, very important information.
Okay.
Andor is one of the guys his name is Cassian Andor. He was on that team, but he was a super dope, thorough spy character in that movie. He was one of the main people that got that information, but he was so dope that everybody's like, who is this guy? Where does he come from? How do we not know who he is? And it's like, the show is like letting us know that. So like, I think that you will enjoy the show because what it's turning into is a Seven Samurais type movie. Which I know you know what a Seven Samurai movie is, right?
No.
It's kind of like the movie of like, oh, we're a village and like we need help, so like we need to get like these ragtag group of like people that can defend for us, and it's like the samurai that is whatchamacallit, he's super fast, this one's super thorough, this is that, and now they're all going to come together to help us protect this village, but they're also going to teach us how to protect ourselves from these bad guys. It's like. And it's really like, it's a heist movie now, bro. Like, that's really what the show is, a heist now. It's like they're getting ready to steal something. I can't tell you what it is or nothing like that. But it's like they're getting ready to steal this mission. But like everybody doesn't trust everybody because doesn't nobody know who they are because everybody thinks that somebody's a spy. Wow. But it's like they have to work together to get this very, very important mission done. But they're all pretty sure somebody on this team is a traitor and they can't figure out who it is. And it's like you got to watch them talk and play with each other. The brother from the bear is one of the people on the whatchamacallit. The crazy cousin. The cousin.
Oh, yeah.
The cousin. He's
yeah.
one of the people like on the ragtag squad. I'm just saying.
You have me intrigued now.
Okay, I'm just saying.
You have me intrigued.
And it's like this
as
latest,
I'm waiting for Bear to come back.
This latest episode it's the day before the heist. And it's like one of the dudes even says it. He's just like, he goes, oh, like everybody, because like everybody's like super like, don't touch my stuff. Why were you over here? What are you doing over here? Like everybody's doing all that. And one of the dudes was like, yo, listen, I'm gonna put all my stuff out there because he's like, I know what this is like. Mm-hmm. He's like, this is the day before the big mission, and you're looking for any excuse to not do that or any excuse to not carry through this mission. But I'm gonna let you know that I'm here. And I'm here for the long run. So whatever it is that you need to know, I don't care because this is too important to not mess up. And he's like, but I know what it is to have the day before jitters. I'm going to go back over here and try to get some sleep. And it's one of those things that's like, yo.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
all right. I mean, all right, I'll start it. It's going to be kind of tough.
It's only got like 5 episodes.
You definitely sent me a TV show called Gangs of London.
Yeah, dude.
And I watched the first episode, and it's amazing.
Can we talk about this real quick? Because like I was just happened to be on TikTok. And it's like I saw the video and it was just like, I'm like, what is this? And then like the guy is just like, yeah, the creator of The Raid and The Raid 2. I was like, how did I not know about this?
And the fight scenes prove it.
How did I not know about this in the first place?
Prove it. The fight scenes prove it.
Oh.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
And
I'm
so
not going to talk about the show anymore unless you actually watch it.
all I want to ask is, I know that the trailer is for season 2. Is season 2 already out?
No.
Okay, all right.
Nope.
What can people watch that on?
I don't know. I'm watching it on my little app.
And Andor is on Disney Plus because like I think it was a like a BBC show, it was an overseas show.
Even when I looked it up, it didn't give me like a platform.
Okay, so like like we had to watch
series. It says watch now, premium subscription, but it doesn't tell
you YouTube?
On what. Is that YouTube?
We'll go to all watch options. What's that?
Oh yeah, there you go. All watch options. So
it's on Sling.
Sling.
You know I got that Sling.
It says Amazon Prime too.
With a premium subscription?
Premium subscription. But it's on that Voodoo. It's on that Voodoo.
Voodoo, baby. It's been a minute since we talked about the Voodoo gang.
But yeah, man.
Gangs of London is definitely, it's on my watch.
It's worth it. It's definitely worth it. But so I'll start Andor. All right, moving on from there.
Okay.
She-Hulk. Is it over?
It is not over. And I think it had one of its best episodes so far.
That's what's up.
The finale is coming up this week.
Okay. You're still enjoying it?
I am. I actually enjoy it more. We finally got our introduction to Daredevil.
Okay.
Daredevil is back.
Okay.
He's got his different costume. He's got his like first ever comic costume, which was a little more yellow and red instead of like the all red that he got like in the Netflix show. But like we got to see him as Matt Murdock, the lawyer, and then we got to see him as Daredevil, and She-Hulk finally starts doing some superheroing. I thoroughly enjoy the show. Like I know that you took a ill stop on it, like to the point where I'm pretty sure you're done, even though there's only 2 episodes left.
Yeah, I'm all set.
Why? Like, what is it that you don't like about it?
I don't know, man. It's just, I don't know. It's just not entertaining to me.
Not entertaining at all?
I won't say at all. It's just, it's not entertaining enough to keep me wanting to go back to it. I'm just like, I'm all set. I feel like if there was like a bunch of finales that hit and I didn't have anything to watch, I could possibly go back to it just to finish it. But like, there's things that are more interesting than watching it right now. Like we got House of Dragons.
I'm not gonna lie to you. We're in the prime time right now.
Right.
Like mad stuff being built. So like, I don't blame you.
There's a lot of stuff more important than She-Hulk right now. It's not to the point to where I'm like, gotta watch She-Hulk.
No. Like, because I feel the same way. Like, I don't think She-Hulk is a must see, but it's definitely like after I run through my list, I'm like, ooh, She-Hulk, and then like I watch it, and every time I'm just like,
it's funny because you talk about this list running through, and some of the list is here, and you haven't ran through none of that, but yet you caught up on She-Hulk.
You know,
it's kind of backwards.
Do you notice like some of the runtime on some of these shows? Because like that's what it is. Is like, all right, I got something I could watch real quick.
Okay, let's start with a quick show.
Okay.
How about Abbot Elementary?
Oh, it was a great episode.
You're all caught up?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I was about to be upset. You're lying. You're lying.
What?
What's the last episode you watched?
The Halloween episode.
There's no Halloween episode.
It's the last episode. Janine dressed up as whatchamacallit, James Harden.
No.
Yes, she did. And then whatchamacallit, Ava dressed up as Storm.
No.
Yes, it did, bro. Like it just happened. I just watched it. What you talking about?
I'm an episode behind. Are you serious about this?
About the Halloween episode?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't watch it though, but like I know it came on. I just saw the screenshots from it. Which one was the episode that you're on though? But you're definitely an episode behind.
Brother's tripping. All right, so what episode was before the Halloween episode?
It's the one where Gregory? That's Everybody Hates Chris' name, right? Gregory?
Yeah.
He has to tell Barbara that like he's not banging with her daughter no more.
Oh no. That's like the first episode.
No, that's not it.
Second episode, yes. No, so the most recent episode is where the quirky white dude,
Jacob.
Yep, is part of like this group that goes from school to school putting on performances, and he joins the performance.
I did not see this episode. I don't know. Like I don't even know what you're talking about.
I've seen that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what this Halloween episode is too. This brother's fronting, man. This man put on the whole.
I'm not lying.
Put on a whole. Yo, listen, man.
I'm on Twitter and I follow Quinta Burson.
Okay.
And it's like, and Ava, and Barbara, and stuff like that, like on Twitter. And like all they keep talking about is how good the Halloween episode that's coming up is. They're like easily their favorite episode.
Yeah, it hasn't come out yet though.
But I saw this like 2 weeks ago. I thought
it hasn't come out yet. It has not come out.
I'm a little behind.
I know for sure that's not the last episode.
I'm a little behind.
This brother's tripping right now. Get your act together.
Okay.
But yeah,
go ahead.
I ain't gonna kill you on it.
You can go a little spoilery though.
I ain't gonna kill you on it. So I mean, the show continues to be amazing.
Okay.
I love this show.
We were texting each other when we were doing our picks, and I was like, bro, I'm watching Abbott right now, and I was like, the show's beautiful.
Yes.
And I was like, I just finished crying.
I love the show. I love where it's going. Like, you could easily like hit a lot of roadblocks in a school teaching show. Like the first episode is like easy, all right. You're just bringing light to what teachers are going through, what schools are going through. But then like after that, what are you going to do? And they just keep adding more dynamics. Like the one teacher that has to teach both second and third grade, and how she doesn't want the para, but then she's getting the para, and it's just like a lot going on. Yeah. I don't know if this is the introduction of a new character.
The last episode that I watched is when they were trying to figure out what to do with the fun money, and she had to do a Shark Tank.
Yeah, that's definitely an episode behind. But the Shark Tank episode is funny too.
That's definitely the last one I was at. But to be fair, it's been a while since we've been on here.
I remember somebody walks in and was like, "Good evening, Sharks." No.
She's just like, no. I'm out.
Right. I'm out. And then like the janitor dude is actually one of the judges. Yeah. And then he turns around and he comes walking in and she looks to the side. I was like, "Wait, you was judging?" So,
but whoever the little girl is, they need to like she needs to be more main on something. Yes. I feel like every time that she's in anything, she's fire.
I love the charter school episode.
Yes,
where there was like the old teacher.
I thought that was the same episode, and it ends up being like her sister.
Yes, that's the same episode, but it's just like they had to call back on the teacher that got kicked out of the school from their first episode. She now works at the charter school and like everything's nice over there, and just like, dang, this is what kids are really seeing, and like this is what their visuals are, and it was just like it's a really good show. So if you haven't started Abbot Elementary, definitely give yourself the opportunity.
The reason why Abbot Elementary works and a lot of these comedy shows work is because they know how to get to the heart of it at the same time. We're laughing as much as we're laughing, but then it's like Janine really cares about these kids and wants them to feel like not what you call it, like they're less than like these other students just because their school is less than. And it's like you see like sometimes when certain things happen, it's like it really breaks her little heart, and you'd be like, and then like once Barbara start feeling it, that's what it's much about.
I thought it was crazy when she was like, the new school has a computer lab. Well, we need to get a computer lab. She's like, we got enough money for a computer. Well, we need to get a computer. Like the whole school could use one computer.
One computer, bro.
So crazy.
I got 4 laptops in my house.
Yo, it's like so crazy. Like, oh my goodness. But like these are what our kids are going through. All right. We'll move on to the patient.
I'm all caught up on the patient.
You're lying.
One of the main reasons why I'm so behind on everything is because I binged the patient.
Are you enjoying the show?
I very much am enjoying the show.
This show is
a fire show.
It's a fire show. I mean, I love Steve Carell. Like there's nothing comical about this movie at all.
Just to be clear,
yes.
Like if I want to make sure that I'm caught up, the last episode that I watched is like when he's having the visions of like the SWAT people coming in, and he's realizing now that they're not nobody's coming.
Nobody's coming.
Okay, so I am all caught up.
I love the inputting of David Allen Greer as his therapist. Yes. So he for spoiler alert, but like we've talked about this already, he's been kidnapped by a serial killer, and the serial killer wants to give him therapy in his basement while he's chained to the floor, so he can't tell anybody that he's confessing to killing people, but he wants to get better and not kill people. But during this time of like him being trapped in his basement, you would think that you would have a psychotic break, and he has not had that yet. I want to say, if I had to guess how long he's been in the basement, I would say maybe a week or two.
Yeah.
But within that week or two, a lot has happened.
A lot has happened.
So he can't.
I mean, a lot could happen in like the first 2 days.
In the first 2 days, right. So he doesn't have anybody that he can decompress with or anything like that. So he did have a therapist when his wife died, who was David Allen Greer, who is now dead. But he keeps a visual of the type of meetings he would have with David Allen Greer in his head. And he's literally being his own therapist in his mind. But his other therapist is David Allen Greer, which is so layered.
It's so
crazy. Because while you're trying to not have a psychotic break while you're trapped in his basement, you could literally still have a psychotic break if you ever get released, because you're talking to yourself and giving yourself the image of your former therapist who is now dead, which is out of control. Like when their banter goes on, and he's like, oh, well, I'm trapped in the basement. He was like, well, I'm dead, so I mean, who's really got it worse?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then like he does a lot of the things where it's like, he'll be like, oh, I'm too old for this. And he's like, why do you keep saying that you're too old?
Right.
Like, why don't you just do this? Or like, why don't you do that? And it's like he's really going through the process like with himself. And it's just like he's doubting himself, but then he's pumping himself up. It's like, then he's like,
he's thinking about things to do. Like at one point, David Allen Greer is like, won't you just jump on him?
Yeah.
Like, next time he gets close to you, you got a pen in your hand.
Yeah.
You used to wrestle, right?
Yeah.
You're a good wrestler.
He's like,
But,
not my high school wrestling. Right. Like that. He's like, why do you keep diminishing yourself? Why do you keep talking about your own age?
Right. And it's like he's having this conversation with David Allen Greer, but he's not. It's having his, like, bro, that joint is like beyond mind blowing. Like, this is like, whoever wrote this joint, I want to find out like who the author is or like who's putting this together, because I just like how people think about these type of things, and it's like, man, like,
I think it's also
crazy.
Just like, as much as like he's panicked doing a lot of his therapy, right? Like, he's not really
no,
because like that's kind of what David Allen Greer is kind of telling them. Is just like, yo, if you're gonna do it, like, why don't you try to like really do it? Right. And it's like that'll probably get you out of here. And he kind of does it to the mom, and it's like how immediate like it takes place, where it's like the mom starts to all of a sudden put her foot down a little bit, and like now she's getting a little thorough with it, and it's like now, and like when there's a scene where the dude is looking for a new therapist, or like what he does, he's like, "Would you be my therapist?" I was like, "Oh, yeah." I was like,
"You
damn."
about to kill the homie.
I was like, "Nah."
And if he doesn't kill the homie, he's probably gonna kill that guy. So it's like, oh man,
somebody's got to go.
Yeah, if you have a chance, check out The Patient
on Hulu.
There's
only 6 episodes so far.
I want to say 6. Yep.
You had told me that it was hour-long episodes, and that's one of the reasons why it was intimidating to me, and I didn't want to get it started. They're actually like 35-minute episodes, which makes it like a bit more digestible.
I think they may be like 40.
Yeah, I would say about that. The thing is, like,
the reason I said an hour is because if you watch it on Hulu, they have the commercials and it makes it feel like an hour. But when I watch it on the app, it's just show straight through. So yeah, so it's definitely worth a watch. If you're looking for something new to watch, The Patient is definitely worth it.
Absolutely. It's up there.
Yes.
But does that give me like a little bit of clout of reason why I'm so behind? Plus, also, I watched like 5 movies in the theater this week.
Yeah. I give you some credit. All right, we're gonna get to these next 2. You're only responsible for 1, but I'm pretty sure you're gonna drop the ball on this one, but it's okay. The first one is all me.
Okay.
Kanaan. Go ahead. What's it really called?
Raising Kanaan.
Yeah. So 2 things. First thing is, I know there's been this whole thing of like what's going on with 50 and stars and what's going to happen. There's a new cover page on the episodes now. It says Lionsgate and then it says stars.
Okay.
So I'm wondering if it's like, hey, this is where the show is going to move to, but this is the current platform for it now until this season is over. So we're gonna put both names there, and then 50 will be done with stars.
I'm gonna see what
and
Lionsgate
maybe
is
go
attached
to Lionsgate. That's what I was gonna ask. I don't know what Lionsgate is attached to. I was hoping that you would already know, but it definitely, the Lionsgate pops up first, and then the stars banner pops up after Lionsgate goes down, and then it goes into the episode. You know, like previously on Raising Kanaan.
Yeah.
Which is definitely turning up. I like the way.
Apparently, Lionsgate is in a deal with 2 streaming services: Peacock, and Showtime.
Well, if this goes Showtime, it's Showtime.
And I'm pretty sure Showtime, for the most part, is HBO Max.
Showtime and HBO, no.
I'm pretty sure like a lot of the Showtime stuff is on HBO Max.
I thought Showtime was like
Burger King, Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime. That's what it is.
There you go. So yeah, that could be what it is. Maybe they get this last final season and then keep it pushing. I don't know what that means for the other TV shows, but it does look like things are starting to reveal themselves. As far as the show Kanaan, I'm still super interested in the show. They're like branching out from New York into New Jersey and starting to mess with the little Italian dudes over there and everything like that. So that's getting kind of crazy. A lot of the characters from Power, you're starting to see how
Showtime is Amazon Prime.
Showtime? Yeah, is Amazon Prime. Okay. Some of the characters from Raising Kanaan, you're starting to see like how they have become the people they are on Power.
Okay.
So like case in point, Jukebox, which plays the police officer who's also 50 Cent's cousin on Power. She's just like super cold blooded, and everybody's always asks like, why is Jukebox like so heartless? She's a police officer, but she's so heartless and so gritty and grimy. And now they're starting to like unveil like a lot of the stuff that Jukebox has been going through, which could clearly break a child's mental capacity to care for anybody ever.
Yeah.
You're starting to see like Kanaan is actually like when the show first starts, he's a really cool kid, really smart. He's usually the voice of reason for everybody around him that's wilding. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But he does have a point of like, hey, don't push me here because if you do, you're gonna feel this pain. But it ain't nothing really crazy. But his mom,
Just to be clear, were you purposely trying to do a 50 Cent bar right there, or did you just kind of make?
No, what did I say?
You know, something for your head, but don't push me. You think I keep fucking with your head, so don't push me.
Oh no,
In front of
that
what
was
you
my.
mean, keep thinking I'm pussy. You know?
Nah, I definitely didn't do that on purpose. The real G, the real thorough person that really pushes Kanaan to probably become who he becomes as we know him in Power is his mom, bro. His mom is just like
Mary J. Blige, right?
no.
This is mom. Totally different show.
Disrespectful,
That's-
man. That's Tariq. That's Tariq. We on Kanaan, all right. If I had to compare Kanaan's mom,
Where's Angela Valdez? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
if we did a versus of Mary J. Blige, which is the parent in Tariq's joint, and Kanaan's mom is gonna bury Mary J. Blige easily. Easily.
Okay.
If you compare the two things that they got going on,
It's not even close.
no. Kanaan's mom is like the female Nino Brown, bro.
Okay.
It's out of listen. She's thorough. She's thorough. Then I like the uncles because the uncles are dope. It makes the show interesting. They got the smart brother who's rebellious, and then you got I don't want to call him the dumb brother, but he just doesn't think things through. You know what I mean? But and that's
a reckless one.
Yeah, and that's played by the guy that I always say he's a guy from Ballers, but you never watch Ballers, so I can't.
I did watch Ballers for a certain amount of time.
But when I brought him up, you said you didn't know who he was. He's the cousin of the football player that played for the Cowboys. Remember, he became the gamer, and they had him doing the drug
But I
test.
told you I didn't get that far.
Oh, okay.
That's what I told you.
Right. Got you.
It's like he was a later introduced character, apparently.
Nah, he was there from the gate, but it's all right. Yeah, he was the one that always had the harebrained schemes on how to make money, but he always wanted to use his cousin's money to do the harebrained schemes. But it's neither here nor there. If you need a new show to watch, or if you're really into the Power universe, I definitely say that Kanaan is, worth watching. Probably more than the Tommy joint. So there you go. And last but not least,
there's 2 more shows.
Oh yeah. Lord of the Rings. What's it called?
Rings of Power.
Rings of Power.
Yeah.
It's also getting to the point to where it has gotten super crazy.
All right.
Are you caught up?
Are you caught up?
Yes.
I'm not. Episode 5. So like where I'm at, the whatchamacallit, they had the assault on the village or the stronghold where Puerto Rican Grey Worm is with all the townspeople.
You're 2 episodes behind.
I'm not 2 episodes. I'm 1 episode behind.
2 episodes behind, fam.
Where they set the trap for the orcs and all that stuff.
2 episodes behind. So you haven't seen the episode where they had the whole issue with the low orc dude arguing with his dad about the materials in the ground to help the elves. That's a whole episode by itself.
First of all, you're calling him an orc. He's a dwarf.
Dwarf, my bad.
You're messing it up.
My bad. But the dwarf is trying to help his elf homie.
Yeah.
And the king dwarf is not for it.
Okay, nah, I didn't get there.
Yep, that's a whole
episode. Because
by
the
itself.
episode before that is when they're on their way there.
Nope.
And it's like, tell it again to me.
There's a whole episode about that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fire episode, at the end of that episode, homeboy has the sword and puts it in the joint and the volcano erupts.
Yeah, I watched that one. That was at the very end of the assault episode.
Okay, all right.
Because then the people from Numenor show up and then they chase him out. And then, by the way, couldn't have been more clear that there's nothing in this rap.
It don't even feel the same.
It don't even feel the same. It took them so long.
I forget what movie it was where dude tried to pull a gun on dude. He was like, "You've been out the game so long, you don't even know that there ain't a clip in your gun."
Oh my God, what movie is that?
I don't know.
Oh my God, why would you bring that up?
I can't remember. And he was like, "You can't even tell the weight of your gun."
Yeah.
I feel like it's a James Bond movie because he's a James Bond guy, but I could be wrong. But like, you can't even tell the difference of the weight of your gun with no clip in it. Yeah, that's basically how that felt.
The episode that I watched, like the very end of it is the volcano erupts, and I was just like, this episode is so good, it should have ended 4 times, and each time it doesn't end, I'm like, I'm like,
the next episode is basically like picks up from there,
the aftermath from that,
but it's dark everywhere now.
Yeah,
because it's smog everywhere, soot, ashes everywhere. So I ain't gonna spoil it for you, but one thing I will tell you is that like at one point, like the big name comes up, Southlands, and then it scratches it out and then puts up the new name because the orcs are in that area with the dude that leads them. He was like, what are we gonna do now? King of the Southlands. He was like, we're not calling it the Southlands no more. And then they renamed it, right? He doesn't even say the name. The name just pops up on top of the screen, bro. It's like, yo, bro.
Hard.
Yo, listen.
Is there a debate whether this show is better than House of Dragons, or is House of Dragons just clearly better?
It's close.
It's very close.
It's close.
And it's like, are you glad that I put you on
this? It's like Joey Bad and J.I.G. It's close. It's close.
I'm gonna give you a lot of points for that comment. That was a good one.
I appreciate it.
But like, aren't you glad I put you onto that one?
Yeah, it's fire.
It's fire. Rings of Fire is fire.
It's fire.
Or Rings of Power.
It's fire.
But it's like, it really feels like you're watching a movie every week. I think the production value, the acting, like everything is just up there.
Mm-hmm. So,
but like, I don't know if you want to talk about that episode 4 or if you want to just move on to House of the Dragon.
No, we're gonna move on because you got to catch up, and I'm not about to do this with you. So let's do this again and go to House of Dragons.
Okay, House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon.
Yep.
Which is definitely crazy.
Yep, and I'm definitely an episode behind.
You are definitely an episode behind.
I did not watch last night's episode.
There are so many spoilers that I don't want to ruin for you. But because of your penalty, you are going to get one spoiler.
Can we just? Why don't we just talk about like last week's episode?
We can do that too.
That's what you got. Where they're dealing with the funeral.
Homie got 3 more dragon eggs.
Oh man! Like I mean, to be fair, like I know where the books is at, and like I know what eventually ends up happening. So like a lot of it's not super.
Man got three more dragon eggs. But all right, so last episode was what? You remind me because I'm caught up.
Like I said, this is Damon's wife. By the way, you didn't even finish that episode, so don't play me. You still got 10 minutes left.
I have 10 minutes left in the show, and I stopped watching it because you were not caught up.
I'm just saying.
You ain't all. You know, 5 minutes of that is credit, so it's really only one last scene, and I'm done.
Because I know what happens at the end of the episode. But all right,
sounds good. You don't know what happens at the beginning of the episode.
But what you call it? So I guess like they're dealing with the aftermath of. I wish I could remember her name, but the Targaryen daughter committed suicide by dragon.
Yep.
So they're having like her funeral services.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of things that happen here. We have Rhaenyra and Daemon.
Yep.
Like securing like their whole whatchamacallit, like they got married. They finally had sex, which was that sexual tension has been building for like 15 years, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm. Her brother steals a dragon of his step aunt.
Yeah, because I was gonna say her nephew. Her nephew does it.
His sister. No, wait. He's sisters with.
It's his aunt's dragon.
Rhaenyra. He's brother and sister with Rhaenyra. Making Rhaenyra's uncle his uncle.
Yep. So it's his aunt.
So he took his step aunt's dragon. Yes.
It's just his aunt. Why would she be a step aunt?
Because they married. She wasn't like. Well, yeah, okay. You would just say
you just be his aunt.
Yeah. So he took his aunt's dragon.
Yeah, he wakes up in the middle of the night. Not Aegon.
I didn't know there was 2 Aegons.
There's 5 Aegons, bro.
I'm awesome.
There's 5 Aegons. We haven't even gotten to the important one that's Jon Snow's dad.
Right. And every time I hear the name, I'm like, oh, this is Jon Snow's dad. No, none of y'all are Jon Snow's dad.
Nah, that's like Aegon the Fifth is like Jon Snow's dad.
That's crazy.
And I think the one that we're on right now is like Aegon. There's the 3rd Aegon, but regardless of the fact, he bonds with and steals his aunt's dragon, who is this Vhagar, who's the biggest dragon. He's the oldest, and he's the biggest dragon. Yes. So now this young,
the most thorough dragon.
Yes, and mind you, these are the kids of Viserys and Alicent Hightower.
Which is crazy because the daughter was like, "How dare you claim my mother's dragon? That dragon's supposed to come to me." He was like, "Why you ain't gonna get it then?"
He's like, "That was on you.
That was on you in your room crying. I'm over here bonding with this
dragon. Move
your
feet, lose your seat,
right.
Bro."
Maybe they'll get you a pig.
Yo. So he pretty much goes 5-on-1.
Yes.
With them.
Yes.
Gets his eye sliced up.
Yep.
Winds up losing the eye.
Yep.
Has a real thorough line where he goes, "I might have lost an eye, but I gained a dragon."
I gained a dragon, bro.
And the
most thorough line I heard from the little dude since the joint started.
That brother Otto went like this too. He said,
he was like,
Man's got a point.
The man's got a point. The man's got a point. Mind you, Damon wasn't even tight about it. Like, yo, I feel like the little dude's like his uncle. That man, I get it. I lost an eye, but I gained a dragon, and it's the best dragon ever. That brother was tripping.
They whatchamacallit, we have we finally have like the standoff between Rhaenyra and Alicent.
Yeah, calls her kids out.
Calls the kids out, calls everything out.
Which is not hard. No. Everybody looks like Labradors, and these little dudes look like Shih Tzus. We know what's going on.
we burnt up your baby father, so but we still gonna talk crazy about it, whatever. But then like the visual of them riding away on the boats, and then Vhagar gets up and flies after the boat. It's just like it's such a wild.
And then to show the son with his head shaved getting in the boat.
Yeah. So then that was another piece is Lenore Valerian, who is
heir to the throne.
Rhaenyra's husband. So he's they fake his death, so that way he shaves his head off, and him and his lover ride out onto this boat to become who knows what. Right. Because this is the first time that they've deviated from the books. That character does die at that point in time, but now he's alive now. So who knows where they're gonna go with this character?
I've come to reclaim my throne.
Yeah,
long white dreads hanging. Which I must say, I'm enjoying the show, but I feel like the Valerians are like the color folks of their time that they are doing real dirty, and I ain't respecting that.
They're very clearly the color folks of their time. Man, they're literally the only colored people on the show.
I'm not respecting that part. That joint is crazy, man. Like, I'm waiting for them to have their third moment, and I'm hoping he's the prodigal son that returns.
It's got to be him, because I'm going to let you know right now, it's like a real slim for everybody else.
I watched the next episode, so I already know what's going on. you think it's slim now? Wait till we get to next episode.
So why don't you, all right,
I'm going to do my best without ruining it for you.
Yeah, just give me the outline of what this episode
is. So the next episode starts 6 years from where the last episode ended.
And this is the last time skip?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
No, I'm telling you that, they've already said, this is the final time skip. The actors who are here now, this is who we're getting for the rest of the series.
All right, so the last replacement were all the children.
Yeah, the Aegon is older.
Yeah, so all the children are older. Aegon is thorough. He has a scene where they return. So this episode is based around what's going to happen with Driftmark, which is where the brothers is from.
Yep.
And King's Landing, where everyone else is at.
Yeah, Westeros, the main spot.
So the king is still ailing 6 years from.
How is he still alive 6 years later? His brother's been.
Bro, wait till you see him, because this man is on some old ghost face man behind the mask type stuff, bro. Wait till you see him. You're gonna be yo, accurate depiction. Yeah. But this man is literally like he knows he could cough the wrong way and his body explode. So
it's definitely the SpongeBob lady that's she's is that chocolate?
Yes.
I haven't had chocolate.
Yes.
That's what he's looking like.
Yes. So basically what's happening is everybody's collectively coming together to find out who's going to be the heirs to the throne.
Okay.
So spoiler, but not a crazy spoiler, because it surprised me as well, but the father of Laenor, the thorough black dude with the white dreads,
Corlys,
he dies. They don't even show him get killed off. They start the episode by saying he was adrift at war, and somebody sliced him across the neck, and he's dead.
Which sucks, because I really like this character.
Right. So you got to figure, because he's dead, and because the other dude is dying, you have two thrones that are basically up for grabs.
Yeah.
So everybody's trying to make their case for who's supposed to get these thrones. Mm-hmm. And the way this goes about is wild.
Okay.
Is wild. You thought I ain't gonna ruin it for you. But it basically is a more intense situation of what happened last time when they were all together in the same room.
Yeah. But
this gets even wilder. All right. I think one of the most thorough scenes for me, old boy Aegon, is that the one who got his eye slashed?
No. Aegon's the older brother.
All right, so whatever his name is, I got his eye slashed.
Yeah.
He has another thorough moment to start the episode. So everybody's coming to King's Landing to have this big meeting. So of course, so-and-so shows up with her two sons, and everybody's already calling bastards, right? And while they go back to the training area, and they're looking at the swords, and they're like, yeah, everything's still the same. And in the background, you hear a crowd, and you hear swords clanking and everything. So they walk over, and it's old dude the knight.
Sir Christian Cole?
Yes. And he's fighting with someone, and all you see is white hair flying. But then as you see the white hair flying, you see a strap around the back of his head. When he turns around, he faces with the sword, and he got the patch on his eye. And both of the other two dudes is like, oh shit, bro. This man he's got a shield. Dude's beating the shield off of him. He's fighting him. He ends up winning. And the dude goes, you'll be ready for tournaments before you know it. No, he said, you'll be winning tournaments before you know it. He's like, I don't care about tournaments. I care about the throne. Or something crazy, something like that. But then he ends it by going, what's up, nephews? Y'all try and spar? I was like, oh, this man is a savage. Like, yo, mind you, he said it with the intentions of like, get in here and lose an eye.
If you want to.
Get in here and lose an eye if you want to. Mind you, they look like they've been sitting on their mom's lap for the last 6 years. Yeah. This man looks like he's been fighting since
Ready
he got
for
his
war,
eye.
dog? Joey, what up?
Yes, since he got his eye slashed, bro. Like, this man looked like 50 Cent taking the wire out of his mouth. Like, they need to hear the pain in your voice. Yo,
it's death upon me.
Yo,
blood in my eye.
Yo, listen, I can't wait for you to watch it and call me yours, because when he turns around and they see the patch, these little dudes wasn't like, oh yeah, I can't wait to get in there with him. Them dudes was like, it was almost like, if I can give you an accurate depiction, and then we'll move on from here. Remember when Ninja Turtles, where they was on the roof with Shredder, right?
Of course.
Remember when Splinter shows up and says, I know who you are?
Yeah.
And he takes his mask off?
Yeah.
Remember how the Turtles was like, it's him.
Yeah.
His face. That's how the two little dudes look when he turned around with the eye patch on. Their brothers.
Splinter hits him with that weak ass
thing. Without honor. Yo, listen. Them dudes did not look like they was ready, bro.
No, they not ready.
Mind you, they look like they grown maybe a foot. This man looked like he's 6'2". This man is 6'2" in there going at it with a grown man, certified knight, and doesn't even flinch when he look at you. What up, nephew? You try and get this work?
I feel like I'm here for a reason. Right. Because he got hit like I got hit, but he ain't get breathed.
Yo, this joint is thorough, man. This joint is thorough. I can't wait.
I know, man.
I can't wait.
That's what I'm saying. We talk about must-see TV and stuff like that. Like House of the Dragon is must-see TV if there is must-see TV.
Definitely.
It's going to be very interesting when we get to the end of the year this year. Because like when we have to do like our top 10 shows.
Don't make me do it.
Because like Cobra Kai, Stranger Things, Wu-Tang, this, Rings of Power. There's a lot of contenders on here for like show. And you still ain't hop on P-Valley yet.
I don't think I'm going to do it.
That's all right. Where we at now?
It's a lot to get to. So right now we are done with digging into crates. I'm looking right now.
We're done with Insomnia Hour.
Insomnia Hour. My bad. And we're on
Popcorn Papi.
Popcorn Papi.
Don't stop, pocket.
All right. Do you want me to get mines out the way?
Sure. I mean, are they worthy to get out the way? Was that what you're saying? Was that
Yeah. They're worthy to get out the way. All right. So first things first.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Do not watch the Queen Latifah Ludacris movie. I don't even remember the name of it. Dang, I feel like I have to. Do I have to?
No, you don't.
All right, great. It's terrible. It's terrible. I don't know. I stopped it maybe about 40 minutes in. I was mad that I gave him the 40 minutes, but long story.
You could have watched a She-Hulk instead, bro.
You're right. You're right. Probably would have been more entertaining. But long story short, Queen Latifah's husband has cancer. She's using everything in her finances to support him. He ends up dying anyway. He's not in the movie. This is just the backstory. And because of it, they lose their house. So they have to move somewhere else, like to Texas or something like that. And they're taking this super long road trip. They stop at a rest stop to get some sleep. Like a drug deal goes bad. Ludacris, her brother, steals the money from the drug deal. And they spend the rest of the movie trying to get this money back to the drug dealers who stole her son. It's a
Netflix movie.
It's a Netflix movie. It's not a thriller.
It's comedy.
There's comedy in it, but it's almost like if Are We There Yet met Taken. It's like,
You can stop talking about
the
it.
little
Like,
kids,
it's like-
even the little kids remind me of the kids from Are We There Yet? It's like, imagine the little boy from Are We There Yet getting taken, and Ice Cube's like, give me my son back.
we can move on. What's the other movie?
Alright, okay. I watched Intergalactic.
The Kid Cudi movie.
Kid Cudi movie.
I thought it was a show.
It's not a show, it's a movie. It's
Okay.
about
Is it long?
hour and a half long.
Oh, that's
So
an
it's
easy
an
read.
easy watch. It's
about as long as a Lord of Rings of Power episode.
There you go.
Real quick,
or a
real
Gangs
quick.
of London episode, because I ain't tell you these episodes are like 120 minutes.
Oh snap!
Yeah,
So literally 2 hour episodes, but they're probably short seasons though. They're probably like 4 episode seasons.
9 episodes.
Okay, I lied.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, like just real quick,
Uh-huh.
talking about Rings of Power and House of Dragons and like the comparisons between them,
Mm-hmm.
like they're similar. There's very different but similar at the same time.
Mhm.
But I feel like if someone wasn't watching them, if there was going to be a show that I was going to recommend, I would recommend House of the Dragon, specifically because the Rings of Power episodes are so long, and I know how intimidating and how daunting that those can be. Because I feel like in every episode of Rings of Power, halfway through the episode, I'm like, damn, we still got 40 minutes left of this episode. But then by the end of it, I'm like, damn, I could watch a whole nother episode
I
right
could
now.
definitely watch another episode.
But it's like it does that because it's so long.
Right,
But it's like I just wanted to throw that out real quick. Sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
interrupt
it's
your
okay.
Intergalactic.
So Intergalactic, I enjoyed the movie.
Mhm.
So it stars Kid Cudi. A lot of the other actors I didn't really know.
And this is animated, right? It's like in the style of
And that's what I was gonna say. It's kind of like a
Into the Spider-Verse.
yes, that's a great depiction. Yeah, so it's a Into the Spider-Verse type interaction. So just plugging up the laptop. We don't want to die right in front of you. We don't want to die and be like,
Nah, keep going.
So we want to make sure that
It's still going. You're still going. You're still good. Go ahead.
I'm so scared.
No, you're
Yeah.
good.
So one thing I will give Kid Cudi credit for is he does one of two things. He makes sure that people still experience art
Okay.
throughout the movie, like whatever his depiction of art is. So there's like a lot of good visuals in the movie. The girl that he's involved with in the movie is a photographer, so there's a lot of cool stuff going on there. There's some situations kind of like Into the Spider-Verse, where like remember when he was fighting Kingpin and everything was kind of like
Going back crazy.
psychedelic. Yeah, so there's a couple scenes like that where like he's kissing a girl or something like that, but it's like it's the effects are dope. It's good for the movie. He made sure that every soundtrack was his music. I don't know if this is old music.
I don't think that's a bad thing at all.
Yeah, no. I think it's both old and new music because I think some of it was.
Well, I was gonna say, like on his first album, he has a song called Intergalactic, and it's like Intergalactic, you and me. Like, is that? And it's like,
I think
ready,
so.
up it, let's go.
Yeah, so he has that song. There's a song with him and Andre 3000. So
Oh, my man, 3 Stacks in it?
yeah, so I'm pretty sure that's probably an older song,
Hmm.
but like he made sure that all the music was him, and I was like, look at Kid Cudi,
Yeah.
and he even did like towards the end of the movie, there's like a big side of the building that has a picture of Virgil on it, so that was pretty dope too, that I thought. But Kid Cudi plays a street artist who goes around like tagging,
Okay.
and you know when you tag a lot, which is also like Into the Spider-Verse. But like, you know, after you tag a lot, this becomes what you're known for. So he had a certain character that he was tagging all over New York, and because of that, he got like a contract with like a major comic book label.
Mhm.
So, and at that time, he moves into a building and the neighbor is the girl who's the photographer, who's also like becoming a world-renowned photographer, and they go through the relationship of like meeting each other but having old ties to other people and how to work that out, and then they're apart and they're back together. So it's basically a love story, I would say.
I mean, yeah, I thought that was the whole point. Is it's like a romance movie.
Definitely, and he did really well with it. There are some cameos. I think I should look up the cast and crew because you may know these people. You are good with cast and crew. So you have Kid Cudi. Jessica Williams is the co-star.
Okay.
Ty Dolla $ign is in it.
Okay.
Laura Harrier
is in it, which she looks super familiar, but I don't know where from. Jaden Smith makes like a 10-minute cameo.
Okay.
So does Vanessa Hutchins.
Do they play themselves or are they playing like?
No, they're playing characters.
Okay.
Yeah. Macaulay Culkin's in it for like 5 minutes, which is kind of weird. Tiana Taylor's in it.
Do the
for
characters
like 3 minutes.
also look like them, or are they
Yes.
just regular characters?
No.
Okay. So like when you saw him, you're like, is that Macaulay Culkin? Like you did that?
Yeah, you could get is that Macaulay Culkin?
Okay.
If he had longer hair.
He does have long hair now.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
He looks
crazy as hell now.
Oh yeah, then it's probably definitely Macaulay Culkin. Then. You got Keith David in it.
Oh, say less, bro.
And then you
Say
have
less.
Luis Guzman's in it.
Luis.
Yeah. And he's only in like the first 5 minutes, right in the beginning. But as soon as he starts talking, you automatically know it's him. And to start a movie with Kid Cudi and him having a conversation, I was instantly like, I'm watching this to the end.
Okay.
There's nothing else you need to say to me. But I think it was a really well-drafted movie. It was worth a watch.
I was going to say, like, I know your scale is a little bit different than the nasty scale when it comes to movies. Like,
I watched this on my TV.
Okay.
I started on my phone. I finished it on my TV.
If this was in the theater, would it be theater worthy?
Yes.
Oh
yeah, a nice matinee.
Okay.
A nice matinee.
Yeah, look at you. We've been using my scale.
Matinee date with Shorty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's worth it. It's worth it. Get some popcorn.
Like, what's the accent for? Like, I don't know what you're doing.
I don't know. I just thought popcorn worked.
Was that all the movies that you had?
That was the last one. Yeah. So up to you. And you want to start from the top, or you want?
I'll try to do them like in the order that I actually watched them.
All right. So the first one is The Invitation.
All right. So apparently The Invitation is like a little bit older.
Okay.
Like it came out like a couple months ago, but like I just finally watched it.
Okay.
And like I feel like it just needed to be talked about, like in general, like
scary movie.
Yes, it's a bit of a horror movie.
The Invitation sounds.
So the main character of this movie is the girl who played Melisandre from Game of Thrones. She's the Grey Worm's girl.
Oh yeah.
So like she's like a sculptor, like in New York.
Mm-hmm.
She has like no family to speak of. Like both of her parents are passed away. She's the only child. She winds up doing one of those like ancestry.com things where it's like she checks her DNA, all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out she has family overseas, like in London.
Mm-hmm.
They wind up reaching out to her because they're like getting ready to have like a wedding. And they were just like, hey, like you're actually related to like some pretty important people over here.
Mm-hmm.
So like you should come to this wedding. And she's like, yo, like I'm a sculptor in New York. Like I can't afford to like go over there. And they're like, afford? They're like, what are you talking about? Like we got mad bread. Like we're obviously going to pay your way over here, pay for you to get like, dope stuff or whatever. So like, she comes over, she winds up meeting the Lord of the Manor.
Okay.
And like they instantly have like a chemistry. So like she's kind of having like this thing of like, yo, do I really want to go back and do this stuff over here, or do I want to stay over here like and be like have the run of this place and then like just do my stuff over here? Because like then like of course they're mad rich, so like they have their own art studio,
right,
or like whatever, and like all this other stuff or whatever. So like the wedding is getting ready to happen, and it turns out these people are vampires. So like, and like her blood specifically is important because like
royal blood or something.
There's like 3 main houses, and it's like the house that she belongs to, there has not been a female in that house in decades. Mm-hmm. So like that bloodline is kind of getting ready to die out, but
she's not a vampire.
Not yet.
Okay.
Because like that's the whole thing as well. Now I got to make you a vampire, like if you want to be a part of this house.
Right.
This movie's not that great. It is very much like I felt like a Lifetime could have made this movie almost. Like something like that. Like it was just like
that might have been the worst you've ever given a movie.
Lifetime movies are awful.
Yo,
and they're not awful. This is like it just wasn't that great, but it was like, I didn't go to the theaters to see it. Like I saw it like at a friend's house, so it was like, you're doing a thing like you do with your friends. You'd be like, oh man, like ain't nobody gonna do that. Like you're talking about it, so like we had a good time watching it.
So that joint was just on.
No, like we were definitely like invested in it, and like what I'm saying, like we're talking about what's going on. I'm like I can't believe this.
It's a Lifetime movie.
So, but it's like it has like such a very distinct point from where it becomes a different movie than it was a minute ago.
Okay.
Because it's like the beginning vibes are just like, should I trust it? Because first of all, she's black. all these people are white. So it's like, you trust all these rich white people? Like all of a sudden, like, and they're looking at her different. They're talking about to her a little bit different. And the thing is, like, I had known ahead of time from seeing the trailers and the things that like they were some sort of like monster. Like there was something up with them.
Right.
But it was just like you just get the creepy vibe the whole time. Is like, are they trying to do something because she's black? Type of deal. But then like as you start getting onto it, and then when it has like a very distinct point where it's like, oh, niggas is vampires. Right. So like you know what I mean?
Right.
The Invitation. I'm trying to think of where to put it on the nasty scale, because like
we already put it on Lifetime TV. It's nowhere else for it to go. It's not like, on the nasty scale at all.
Like you got full price, you got matinee, got $5 Tuesday, Redbox, stream it, skip it.
Lifetime.
No, I mean skip it is better than Lifetime. Just don't watch this movie. Lifetime has got its own channel, man. They got a solid history of work or Hallmark.
Okay.
Because that's what they are now. Like they're Hallmark movies.
I'm assuming this is a skip it?
No, I think it's between a Redbox and a stream it.
Nobody goes to Redbox anymore.
Should I just eliminate the Redbox category from this altogether?
Yes. I'm surprised they haven't been eliminated from the city. They're probably just there so people could steal DVDs off a bogus credit card and not return the movie.
I think the whole reason why I have Redbox on there, because it's like, it gives you an idea of how much money you should spend. Because if you full price it, you're spending like, what, $15? You met $1. That's what I'm saying. It's $1 versus on the streaming service, you're not paying for it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Nobody goes to Redbox.
I think it's a streaming movie.
Okay.
I think if it came out like on a Netflix thing and they put it on a top 10 list, it'd be like that 8 or 9 movie like on there. I don't think it needs to be seen, but it was just like, it's one of those things where it's just like, there's worse things you could watch. It's very just a streamable movie. So the second movie I watched, it's another horror movie.
Okay.
It's called Smile.
I've heard a lot about this. There's been promotion like literally everywhere.
Yeah, they've been
like
doing
weird faces and
like people smiling.
Yes, I like football games though, and like basketball games, and like like
it was pretty solid promotion for it because it's free for the most part. You just send somebody to the game and have them just be weird, smiling.
Right. Hey, I'll give you $100 if you just smile at the game.
Yeah. Okay. Free tickets to this game and $100. Right. Like I done got it.
All smiles are gonna look weird to me now.
So like. There isn't really big name actors in this movie. So like it's really hard to do that. I will say this. The woman's husband is A-Train from The Boys. So like he was just a weird person where I was just like, why is he in here? But it's just like, it is what it is. But this woman who like, now I'm a week removed from seeing this movie, so I don't remember nobody's name in this joint. But she is a crisis counselor. So she works in a hospital where like people come in and like they're in crisis, whether they're having a psychological break, whatever it may be, and like she is the person that's on the scene all the time. They're also trying to give you the idea that she very much cares about her job, like more than her own personal well-being. Like she is constantly doing doubles and she's not even clocking like the time and like doing all this other stuff or whatever. Like she's just there. Like they're like, yo, you need to go home and get up out of here. But she just she can't not help people.
Okay.
The chief of medicine is Kumar from Harold and Kumar too. Like that's another person in here.
I feel like that's racist.
So she winds up getting this patient who is telling her that she's like, listen, like I'm not crazy, but I saw this thing, and like ever since, all I see is like people's faces start turning into this really twisted smile, and then like lo and behold, like this is all in the trailer, so it's like whatever. As she's having the conversation with her, like the girl starts freaking out, and then she whatchamacallit, she starts smiling and she takes her own life in front of the therapist. She kills herself in front of her. So then now, she's so like distraught about this, like, you know, they're just like, yo, you like this girl literally just killed herself in front of you, and like, you know, you need to like not be at work. So now that she's not at work, she's at home, but now she can't stop thinking about this case, and then now things are starting to smile at her, and it's starting to be all this other thing or whatever. And it's like she's trying to use her own practices, like almost like the patient, where she's trying to use her own stuff on her to try to help her figure out like what's going on. But she winds up uncovering that this like supernatural thing, this phenomena that's happening. So like I think this movie was like, I don't know who this actress is, But like I think
Really?
like she was very
I
believable.
feel that's pretty new.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, they just found a white girl because that's really what she is. It's like I am a white woman. It's like, but she but she did a very good job of like I felt very good like when she's not sleeping and she's distressed and like she's all over the place or whatever, like I feel that from her. Like I was like, damn, like she's going through it. Like she was like she's selling like all that stuff that she's got going on. And then it's like, A Trainer's her husband, and it's like he's supposed to be very understanding husband, stuff like successful black dude type deal.
Right.
But then it's like, how far do you go when people are starting? It's like, yo, what are you talking about right now? Because like, she's like, I feel like there's like a spirit, and he's just like, got spirits now. But it's like, you're supposed to try to be understanding, but then like she keeps doing crazy stuff, and it's like it's hard to explain these things away. So it's just like, there's like a part of that where it's like, like I'm watching it and I'm like, I'm a pretty understanding person. There's a limit where I'd be like, all right, you're bugged out right now because you're doing some like I wish I could like tell you some of the things that she was doing so like you could be like, oh yeah, like she's bugged out. But it's like it's just tough. But it's like I guess you could say like she hallucinates quite a bit. Like that's one thing that she does, and it's like she doesn't realize that she's hallucinating because like this evil spirit is making her see things or whatever. So like one of the big scenes in the movie is like she's very estranged from her family as well. You wind up finding out later why she's estranged from her family, but like she has like this nephew. Her sister really wants her to come to her nephew's birthday coming up. She's like, listen, he's really into trains, all this other stuff or whatever. So like she buys a train, does all this stuff or whatever. A lot of other things are happening, so like she goes to the birthday party and like she gives him the train, stuff like that. Like he opens up his present and like he's looking at it like mad crazy, and everybody's like, oh, what's the problem? And like pulls out and there's like a dead cat in the box instead of thing, and she's like, I don't know what happened, it wasn't me, it was a spirit. And everybody's like, yo, get this cat, like what I'm saying. So like you have that thing where it's like,
yeah, don't get this crazy broad away from my child.
Exactly.
Yo, man, get your girl up out of here. Get your girl up out of here, man, before I spaz.
You think this is funny? Like they're doing
traumatize my kid for life.
For life. And the thing is, they keep showing that kid every once in a while. He's like, but
oh man, not to open a dead cat in front of everybody.
It was crazy. It was one of the most wild.
I can't remember the last time I've been to a birthday like that where they just open up your gifts right there.
Oh yeah, because everything is like, yeah, we're gonna open them later, put them in the pile.
Right.
Then, like, what I mean?
Get y'all out my crib.
But I thought Smile was pretty decent. Like, what I mean? It's a horror movie, and horror movies are kind of hard, especially like when they don't have like the bigger budgets. Like, we got Halloween's getting ready to come out, like the Freddy Krueger, Chucky, Jason guys, like they're not really coming out like that no more. So like we are having to deal with like the the Conjuring movies, and it's like those are the ones that get like the big budgets and all the other type of stuff. For like this movie to be like a smaller budget movie, like I enjoyed myself in it. Like but like there always comes a point, and like this is my thing with like horror movies like in general, where once you see like, because the whole thing is like you don't know what the thing is. Okay. And it's just like, like it's a shadow, or it's like these things that move, or it's a noise. But then once you finally get to see what the thing is, it's like I'm not really scared of it anymore because now I understand what you are, or like you know what I mean. So like,
what was the thing? I'm never watching this movie. Just so you know,
it was like legit, like almost like an evil spirit. Like she winds up uncovering this like this thing where it's like you pass it on. It's all right. So this is the thing. It's like I also noticed like how deep,
like a deep
of like how deep this movie is trying to get is like how trauma passes to other people. So because like that's what it is like you have to you have to kill yourself in a very gruesome way in front of somebody else to pass the spirit on to somebody else, or you have to kill somebody else. And someone else has to see that it goes to them, because she does wind up meeting like this one guy who's a survivor, who's it's a black dude. He's in everything. He like, did you watch all the Netflix shows? The Netflix Marvel shows. I'm sorry.
No.
I was like, because he was like this like dealer. I don't want to say he's a drug dealer, but he was in like all the shows. His name was like Turk or something like that. But it's like if you saw this guy, he looks like Freddie Gibbs. Now that I think about it, but it's like if you saw him, you know exactly who I'm talking about. And like he's just like tells her like how he survived. He's like, this is what you got to do, and it's like she has to figure out if she wants to do it. And it's like when you really think about it, it is like this whole thing of like when trauma comes, do you like in order for you to get the trauma off you, you have to kind of like let it off on somebody else, and it's like that's what it kind of like comes down to. if I was to put this movie on the nasty scale, I think it's a very solid $5 Tuesday movie.
Okay.
I think it could be a matinee. Like I was trying.
Rob Morgan.
Yeah, but you see it, right? Because as soon as I said he looked like Freddie Gibbs,
is gonna play Rob Morgan in his flesh. Yo, that is hilarious. All right, continue. I'm sorry.
like I think I gave this movie like a lot of concessions for like what it was. So like, and I was gonna try to put it like in the matinee range. But I think like it's just like it's just like a very okay scary movie. Like I don't think anybody's gonna be talking about it like a couple years down the road. Like I don't think it's kind of like an It Follows, for instance. It was a pretty low budget scary movie, but it was a great scary movie.
Okay.
Like this one was just good.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like I put it in the $5 Tuesday.
Okay. Right.
What's my next movie I got? Because I know I got a couple.
Don't Worry, Darling.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
you was movied out.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, bro. I'm trying to tell you, man. Don't Worry, Darling.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
comedy?
It is not. It's a very serious suspense movie.
Okay.
So I feel like in order to
this last one I wanted to go see, and I'm mad that you didn't tell me because I definitely would have went to go see that. I really wanted to go see that. But continue. I'm sorry.
Don't Worry, Darling. I feel like you need to discuss the controversy around this movie before you could talk about this movie. So like the movie stars Florence Pugh, who you would probably know she's the new Black Widow in the MCU, like the one with the blonde hair that fought Hawkeye. She's Black Widow's sister in the Black Widow movie.
Oh yeah, the Kate Bishop girl.
No, that's Kate. Yes, she does the whole Kate Bishop scene. Yes. That's Florence Pugh.
Okay.
The main co-star in this movie is Harry Styles from the One Direction.
Continue.
But like, apparently the original co-star was Shia LaBeouf. And something happened. I don't know. I didn't get like too into it. But Shia LaBeouf wound up being fired from this movie like in the middle of it. And so they had to replace him with Harry Styles.
Okay.
Another big thing is like this is like the directorial debut of Olivia Wilde. I'm sure that if you saw her, you would know who she was. She used to be on House. She was one of the whatchamacallit. Damn, you didn't watch House, bro? But if you saw Olivia Wilde, you'd be like, oh, I've seen her in a bunch of things.
I watched episodes of House and it was entertaining, but I never like consistently watched it.
Man, you missing out. That's
a doctor show with the injury that was taking drugs, but he's super smart. Yeah, I know you're talking
about. Yeah. This was her like directorial debut.
Okay.
So they wind up replacing Shia LaBeouf and they get Harry Styles instead. Apparently, Florence Pugh wound up hearing how much money that Harry Styles was making in this movie, which was apparently way more than what she was making, but she is the star of this movie. So like she started to speak out about it and it started to become like this big thing. She's like, listen, like Florence Pugh for the most part is like kind of like an it girl right now. Like she's the new Black Widow. Like she starred in Midsummer, which was a pretty good horror movie. Like she's been like a lead in movies. Harry Styles doesn't lead any movies. Like, you know, he's famous from being in One Direction and like having like all this crazy hair, but like acting wise, he's not on my level.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? The other big name in this movie is Chris Pine.
Okay.
Who is he plays the new James Kirk in the new Star Trek movies.
Oh yeah.
So like, why is she making less than both of these people in there? And then apparently there was like some big sex scene where they had to get like where she got like really naked or like whatever happened in it, and she didn't want them to put it in the movie or like whatever, and they were just telling her like, nah, we're putting it in the movie regardless of whatever. I don't think it made it to the movie because like I don't know what the crazy sex scene was. It wasn't that big of a deal. Anyways,
wait. So this is not the movie.
This is just outside the movie.
Oh my!
This is outside the movie. So like
what is this?
So like so like apparently during the premiere of this movie, Harry Styles wound up spitting on Chris Pine, and like no one knows why that happened or like what was going on. So like there's like this big thing of like everybody like hates each other from doing this movie. So like before this movie even came out, people were just like, yo, like I don't even know if I should support this movie because like I don't know what the hell is going on.
That sounds
like in it. So like or whatever. So I went to go see this movie. It is.
I don't know if I should go see this movie. I went to go see this movie.
It was like strictly because of the controversy in it. Like a friend of mine was like, "Yo, I got to see this movie now. Like I got to know like what's going on."
Chemistry is on screen.
Or just like what's the big deal? Right. Like is this the greatest movie of all time or is it the worst movie? Like what's like I don't know.
Right.
So Florence Pugh and Harry Styles
Mhm.
are a married couple, and they move into this town, which is very 1950s like aesthetic. Like
Okay.
you know, you got the what you call it, like the Camaros and like all this other stuff.
Mhm.
But they have these really dope houses, and they live in this town that is run by like this one big company that Chris Pine runs.
Okay.
Nobody knows exactly what they do at this company, but all the husbands, like in the morning, they go over there and they're in there for, let's say, like 9 to 5, whatever the time is or whatever, and the wives are just kind of like at home. They're preparing their dinner, they're getting stuff ready, they're doing all this other stuff, whatever. But like they don't have like any agency outside of like what they do for their husbands.
Mhm.
And like for the most part they don't question it because it's like they live really well, they eat really well, they're very like attracted to each other. Their husbands are constantly getting promoted and all this other stuff or whatever. Something happens where one of the wives starts to talk a little out of turn, or she starts saying things like, you know, they're lying to us, right? You know, like you can't, you know, this isn't real. Because that's another big thing I forgot to say too. Is like they live like in this like cul-de-sac area. It's like somewhere in the desert, but they have like very strict rules of like, do not go past this point. No matter what happens, do not go past this point. It's like their only rule for the most part,
Mhm.
where it's like all you have to do to live here and do all this other stuff, don't ever go past this point.
Mhm.
Apparently one of the women went past the point, and she's trying to let the rest of them know, but like everybody else is kind of just being like super weird about it.
Mhm.
And it's like Florence Pugh's character, something happens one day where she's going somewhere and she sees a plane crash, and she's like, oh my god, like that plane crash, like we got to go help that person. And like she's literally on a bus, and the bus driver's like, nah, that's not on my route. And she's just like, yo, but like who knows what happened, like that person could be dead. He's like, it's not my problem. He's like, yo, he's like, that's beyond the point. I don't go beyond the point. The whole rule is we don't go beyond the point. So then she whatchamacallit, she goes, well, I'm gonna go help him. He goes, you know I have to report if you go beyond the point. And she goes, do what you have to do. And she goes over there, and something happens. We don't know what happens, but then she just wakes up like back in the house. And like, you know, Harry Styles is there, like he's making her dinner. He's like, hey, like, you know, you fell asleep and like all this stuff happened. And she's like, nah, like I saw like a plane crash. And he was like, there was no plane crash, or there was no none of that. There's a lot of like a lot of that type of stuff going on. So then like now, like, and then like whatchamacallit, like she's starting to look at things a little bit like, hey, like what do you guys actually do? Like what goes on over here? What is this big project that you guys are working on? And like everybody's kind of like, you wouldn't understand, or you wouldn't do things like that. And then all of a sudden that other wife was like, you saw it, didn't you? And she's like, she goes, yo, like what was it? And then like all of a sudden, like almost like Squid Game people in like red suits like come out and they take like the woman, and then like they go, and she's like, yo, they're taking her, and then all of a sudden she gets knocked out. And then like she wakes up and she's like, no, they took her. And they were like, what are you talking about? Like, yo, she moved away. And like all of a sudden, so then like you're doing this whole thing of like, yo, what's going on like in this place or whatever.
And this, you said this is a suspense?
It's a suspense movie.
Continue.
what are you about to do right now?
Just look it up. Yeah.
Yeah. So so then it becomes this thing of like she knows that something's messed up, but like clearly everybody else around her is either oblivious purposely, or they just don't know like really what's going on. And then she starts to believe as well that like her husband has some idea what's going on, and he's purposely not telling her. So now she's doing this whole thing of like, I know the truth or whatever. Chris Pine's character, who's like I said, he's like the head architect or whatever, he winds up whatchamacallit, like he's like, I know that you know. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Because he's like, you think that you know something, but you don't really know what you think that you know. And I know that when you try to tell everybody, you're going to sound crazy. Right. So he's like, whatever.
He's got my homie Ruxin in it from the league.
Yes. He's whatchamacallit. He's Nick Kroll's like not a big character. Do you see Olivia Wilde is though? Because Olivia Wilde is his wife.
Yes.
Does she look familiar to you?
She looks super familiar. I just can't remember from what.
Like I said, like you've probably seen her, like she's in like a ton of stuff or whatever. But yeah, that is the
she was in Tron and the Justin Timberlake joint In Time.
Yes.
I remember her from those. Okay, continue.
But like that's kind of like the crux of this movie. Like I can't tell you what it actually is without like ruining the whole experience of the movie, because it's like there is a twist.
You told me enough.
I was to say there is a twist ending to it. It's. I felt like the movie could have been like 15 minutes shorter, 15 to 20 minutes shorter, and then I felt like the conclusion, while it was kind of complete, it wasn't 100% a satisfactory conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, because of that, like, I think it's a matinee movie. Like, I don't think it's a full pricer, because I think you end up with more questions than answers.
Okay.
Like, towards the end, be like, well, wait, what then what happens with this, and what happens with this, and like, what does this mean? And it's like, I'm starting to, and
yeah, that's way too many questions. I mean, but what you call it was like that, and I loved it. Inception.
But no, like, you don't really have questions about the movie Inception or the framework of it. The question that they want you to do is like, is this reality? Is this not reality?
Mm-hmm.
That's not what this is. Like, you know what's happening. You know what's this, but then it's just like, but like, why would this person say this then? And what does this mean? Like, what does this mean? Like, why are you putting out these threads that like you're not going to tell us like where it leads to? Like, this movie is definitely not getting a sequel. Like, that's for sure. Like, I'll say that. It's like, so like, why not answer some of these questions? Like, it just ended like very abruptly. I was like, wait, that's it? Like, I sat here for 2 hours and some change, and it's like, I didn't feel 100% satisfied toward the end of the movie.
Got you.
So like, that's why I think it's like a matinee price movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's a full pricer and stuff like that, but like, I do think it was just a pretty, like, it was pretty good, but it wasn't great. And it was like, for all the stuff that was attached to it outside of the movie, I don't know if it was worth all that stuff.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But I thought it was very well shot. It's a beautifully shot movie. I thought like everybody in it was a great actor / actress.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think that the script gave them too much to work with for like certain parts.
Okay.
Of the plot.
I need you to get to this next one.
Okay.
Because I'm excited about this next one.
So the other movie is Amsterdam.
Yes. Which is starring. Go ahead, because I'm gonna read off this cast.
Well, first and foremost, there's a controversy around this movie, like, as well. I don't know if you know about this. The director of this movie.
No, what?
The director of this movie is apparently like a known pedophile.
What?
Yes, bro. And I didn't know this until I bought the tickets. They were like, "You're going to see Amsterdam. You're going to support that movie." And I was like, "Oh, damn, bro! I already bought my tickets."
So
like,
you have Christian Bale.
Yes.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Margot Robbie. There you go. You got John David Washington, which you cannot love, and Taylor Joy.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
There you go. Robert De Niro. You got
who I didn't know was in this movie. I did not know Robert De Niro was in here until he shows up.
You got Rami Malek, he was also
Rami Malek.
He was also in Inception.
Of all the things that he's in, that's what you bring. He has like such a small part in Inception.
Yes.
Like not Bohemian Rhapsody or Mr. Robot, the show that he kind of did for like 5 seasons.
I didn't watch either of those.
He was also in No Time Left to Die, the James Bond movie. He was like the final bad guy.
I didn't watch that one yet either. Mike Myers.
It was excellent.
Chris Rock.
Yep.
Timothy Oliphant.
Oh, Timothy Oliphant. Yep.
Okay. You got Zoe Saldana. There you go.
You are butchering these names.
That's why I don't do names. You got Michael Shannon.
Yep. General Zod.
Yep. I mean, the list goes on, man. It's
an incredible cast.
This is out of control how many people were in this movie.
And as you watch it, you're like, damn, this person's in here too, because like some of these people are used very sparingly. But it's like when they're in there, you're like, holy shit, like what is going on here?
Yeah, this is out of control.
Okay. So like I'm gonna try to like get the crux of what this movie is.
All right. Aside from the known pedophile, that's the director.
Right.
All right, continue.
All right. So this movie is essentially about a throuple. It is.
Yes.
So John David Washington and Christian Bale's characters meet during a war where they both get like seriously injured.
Yep.
And the nurse that works on them is Margot Robbie.
Okay.
And because of the fact, like during this war, like how black people were treated, like John David Washington is kind of having this whole thing of like, do I even want to go back? And Margot Robbie's like, well, if you don't want to go back, we can go to Amsterdam. And they're just like, what is Amsterdam? And it's kind of like, it's almost like a place that exists outside the war for the most part.
Like a Switzerland.
Yes. And it's like
most people say, like in the neighborhood, regardless of you beefing, when you in here, ain't no beefing happen.
Like Amsterdam and The Wire.
Yes.
He was trying to say Amsterdam. You can't say Amsterdam.
Yes.
So the three of them live in Amsterdam for like quite a long period of time. Like it's like I believe it's like over 2 years that they just lived together, and it's like it's never exclusively stated, but it's pretty like implied that like the three of them were a couple together for the most part. Christian Bale was married before he went to this war. He is a doctor too.
Okay.
Like that's what's important about him is like he's a doctor. John David Washington's character is a attorney.
Okay.
And Margot Robbie is she's a nurse / artist or whatever. So one day Christian Bale wakes up and he's just like, listen guys, I need to go back home. I need to, 1, see my wife, and 2, I have this, ability or whatever. I need to help the other people that were like us back home who are not getting the proper medication and are not getting treated for like their war wounds and stuff like that, mostly because they're black. Because like he's very like pro like why are you treating them differently type of deal.
Okay.
When he does come back, like he's been doing it for quite a while, he's struggling quite a bit. One day John David Washington shows up. Okay. And he's just like, hey, like I know we haven't seen each other in a while, but it's like I have this kind of like job that I need you to do. And it's like this man turns up dead. He's a very important person. He winds up going on a trip and he dies, and a daughter, who's Taylor Swift, suspects foul play. So she's like, and like no other doctor will try to do the autopsy to see what's really wrong with him. So they come to Christian Bale's character. Christian Bale, whose nurse ends up, or his side nurse ends up being Zoe Saldana. The three of them go to the body. They kind of uncover, they're like, yo, this man was poisoned. So then when they go relay that message to Taylor Swift's character, everything starts to all of a sudden unravel, where like they find themselves in the middle of this really, really big conspiracy.
So it's like a Clue game.
Yes.
It's like a whodunit movie.
It's kind of like how far does this thread go? Like this thing that seemed very insignificant is all of a sudden very important, and it's like to a larger scale thing. It's a very like, it's almost like an Illuminati level thing where it's like, why do people want to shut us up so bad about this thing? Okay. And then they start to do the research and they start to figure it out, and they're like, yo, this is crazy. So like what the movie really becomes is like, who do you trust? And I think that's one of the things that they really, really captured. Jesus. But it's like, they're like, when something this serious has happened and you don't know who you can trust, Christian Bale, John David Washington, and Margot Robbie trust each other so completely. Like they don't even have like how the big scene in The Town where it's like, yo, listen, we got to go do some things. We're going to hurt some people. You can't ask no questions. And he's just like, yo, whose car are we driving? Like that's kind of like how they are with each other. They were like, yo, listen, like this is the thing that we need to do. And it's like, they may be like, I don't know if that's the best idea, but if that's what you're doing, then that's what we're doing. And it's like a really beautiful thing of like, of what trust truly is, or like what trust looks like. And it's like, eventually, like, like some of these things blossom into love and like all this other stuff or whatever. Like, and it's just like what really is love? Because it's like, obviously like they're best friends and it's like, I love you, but it's like, that doesn't mean that I love you like that. But it's like at the same time, like I trust you so completely. Like it's such a hard thing to find someone that you trust so completely that you'd be like, I can die in this next moment, but I know that if you roll it with me, like I'm good. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's as far as I can go with this movie without getting super spoilery into it.
Was it a good movie?
I thought it was pretty good.
Hey.
So like apparently the movie flopped because apparently like I guess it cost like
there's a pedophile.
Well, that's part of it. Apparently it cost like $80 million to make this movie, and in this opening weekend it only made like $10 million.
Oh,
so like that's a pretty big flop, and like I think it's because they paid so much money to these actors because it's like there's so many people. There's so many people in this movie.
That's what I was gonna say. Like,
granted, the sets are pretty intricate, and it's like I said, it's shot very beautifully. So it's like, and they're also in the 1930s. So it's like they're doing that whole aesthetic, throughout the movie. So it's like I can understand like where some of the money went into like these sets and things of that nature, but it's like that is a pretty big flop.
It's a lot of money.
I do think this movie was pretty long as well. There's like, I even talked to like my brother afterwards, and he was just like, yo, there's a whole section that's like 20 minutes to a half an hour in this movie. He's like that could have just not been in there. It's like not only like we could have talked about this in a conversation and we could have breezed through that, but it's like they decided to show it to us and it was just like, oof, that was a little rough. and like the movie's like 2 hours and 10 minutes long. And I was like, if this was an hour 40, like I feel like it would have been a lot more smoother cut and things like that. But like I think a lot of the concepts in it were pretty beautiful, and it's like, you know, I thought it was pretty dope. So like I was trying to think, I was like, is it a full pricer or is it a matinee? Because I don't think it's a $5 Tuesday movie, and I think it is squarely in the matinee category. It's like I don't know if I would spend the full $15 to watch this movie again, but I was like spending like the $7-8 to watch it. It's not too bad.
How was Chris Rock?
Oh, Chris Rock is there. Like they know how to put the right amount of Chris Rock in certain scenes, because like he shows up and he's like, you know, there's a dead white man in that box, right? And it's like that. He's like, and you know that you black, and you know that when they find out there's a dead white man in this box, they're gonna blame the black folk, right? Just making sure. And then, like, and then it played out. But it is. I thought it was really well done. I mean, it's kind of a shame that like who was attached to this movie and all the other stuff, because I do think if it would have came out a different time, it would have been a bigger movie than what it was. Okay. But I think everybody that acted in this movie was fantastic. Okay. So
that's what's up.
Matinee movie.
All right.
Whew,
I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, that's it.
Damn, that was my neck hurt.
Hey. There you go. There you go. All right, we're on to the Hardwood check-in.
We're getting close to 2 hours, bro. I'm trying.
Listen, man, that was all movie time. I know, but I'm trying.
We're gonna start putting some Oscar playing music on for you.
I'm trying, bro. I'm trying to give everybody the full scope of like what they're getting into.
We have timestamps.
But still, man, I hate when I look at the video and I'm like, damn, 2 hours and 40 minutes. I'm like, that's crazy.
It's intimidating.
Plus, right now, it's like it's Indigenous People Day, bro. I'm hungry. I'm trying to like, come on. I mean, the only thing to talk about in basketball, anyways, is this man Draymond Green cracked Jordan Poole in the middle of practice. That's all it really came down to. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yo, fam, when I seen it, yo, listen. For me, it's everything else that comes with it, man. For me, the best one so far is teach a man how to squabble. Teach a boy how to squabble. Teach a boy how to squabble. Yo, listen, I don't know what happened. I don't know why it happened. I'm pretty sure they're gonna fix it because money and winning championships is more important.
I mean, they played a preseason game last night. Jordan
Poole didn't listen. He might have knocked that man into shape because that man did a little behind the back move, switched to the lefty, I think it was, for a little floater.
That was different, bro. I hadn't seen a move like that in quite some time.
Yeah, man. If he had used them same moves, he might not have got punched in the jaw.
At the same time, if you're gonna push somebody, put your hands up, bro. Or like be ready for the retaliation.
And you should know what you're dealing with, because I always tell people, I be telling kids sometimes, you know, they play around, they push you. Yeah. I be like, in no situation when you push someone should you move back and not that. Because when Jordan Poole pushed that man,
he did what it is.
Right, it was like, fam, as soon as you moved and he did not, you should be like, all right, let me get some distance.
Also, great punch form from Draymond Green, because like, you know, most people, they come wild or they swing this way. He brought that joint from the gut and wow, like just straight like woof.
I was more impressed with the closing of the distance. Because it was like he didn't disrespect Jordan Poole's hands, because he was like, after I hit him, he may have some, so let me press him up against these mats right quick. He's like, bang, I'm on you. I'm on you. I'm closing the distance.
Get your man.
I'm closing the distance. I'm good. You get him. So, I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, I'm just hoping that it's not something that tears a team apart. I hope it doesn't have no female that's in between it. I'm hoping it was just like they was at practice jawing, and then somebody got jawed, and then we're going to keep it moving.
Because everybody's like, oh, who's wrong in this situation? I'm like, well, first of all, somebody got hit, so whoever hit the person is wrong. For the most part, it's like it should never get to that point, like especially if y'all are teammates. But it's like, stuff happens.
Plus, you don't know what Jordan Poole might have said to him to get punched in the mouth.
Exactly.
So I'm not holding against nobody. All I'm saying is
urban philosopher Littleton Jonathan once said, "Don't start no shit, won't be no shit."
Yeah, and judging that was wonderful.
Yeah,
judging, I don't want to say judging, but based on what we know from Draymond, I feel like he's the type of dude that would be like,
"Better watch him out before I crack you."
Or even more importantly, like, y'all can't treat Jordan the way I do. It's kind of almost like, that's my little brother. I'll say and do to him whatever I want, but you will not say and do whatever you want to him. Oh, but you did it. Yeah, because that's my man. That's my man's. That's my brother. That's my family. You're not going to do that. So I mean,
You ever do the thing too? Like I used to say to my friends, like, "Oh my god, like my mom is so annoying." They're like, "Yeah, your mom is annoying." I'd be like, "Don't talk about my mom's."
for real. Straight like that.
Like, no, don't talk about
Straight
moms.
like that. Straight like that.
Leave that right where it's at. I can say that.
Yo, this dude is so annoying. Yeah, I don't even know why you friends with him because that's my man. You got a problem with my man? You got a problem with my man? Yo,
whatever you about to do right now, don't talk about my man.
Right.
Watch yourself.
Right.
Stay in your lane.
Right. Facts. So I don't know who released that video, but I think the real op is the person who released the video.
Apparently, he only got like 10K for that. Come on, man. You guys got to negotiate with TMZ way better than that. That's all I'll say, bro.
Right. Listen, as soon as I get on the phone, like, yo, I got a video of Draymond punching Jordan Poole out like he's asleep. No, you don't. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. You don't want? That's fine. I'm going to go give it to Sports Center.
Literally anybody else.
I'll take the 20 grand they offering. We got 30. Okay, let me call them back and see what that. No, we'll just give you 100 right now. Sold. I'm airdropping it right now.
You don't think that joint is worth like $1 million? Like, think about like how much they got from that, like the publicity and like everything that came from that.
I would have made $1 million off of it only because I would have been on the phone with 10 different people at the same time, getting 100K from every person.
You be thinking that this is like fantasy football.
Like, listen. Everybody got the video. Whoever dropped it first is on you. Y'all break it on YouTube. Yeah. Quick. You see the TMZ beat everybody. You know what I mean? You heard how Nipsey said it. Every time we get to messing somebody up, TMZ catch it.
Yeah, you're right.
So, I mean, I hope they can move past it, man. I hope it doesn't ruin basketball in Golden State because, I mean, we already got enough teams falling apart where we don't need another team to do so.
I'm quite okay with the Golden State dynasty being over with. Like, I have no problem with that thing imploding.
Yeah, but if that happens, you have to think what the alternative is. You know?
Who's it? The Celtics? Probably. Who's the next closest?
I don't know if the Celtics is gonna be all right, man. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I don't know, like, who's next up. As long as it ain't the Clippers, like, I'm cool with it.
Speaking of which, I did not know that Blake Griffin went to the Celtics.
Yeah, he like literally just went there like 2 weeks ago.
So I seen him at the game. I didn't know he was there. Yeah. So it was just like, okay, all right. So I mean, that's it for Hardwood Chicken. We already did Homecookin earlier in the episode, so we can go on over to the Blitz.
What's a quick version that I could do of the Blitz?
Man, that's the Blitz. So.
PA Sport. So again, don't do that. Them brothers be suing.
Right. Real quick, you see what they did to 2K football? I used to enjoy that too. All right.
Because it was better.
So, as most of you know, we'll get right to it so we can pull the Band-Aid off. Joey and I do what's called the 2-minute drill, and we do our picks. I humbly took a whooping last football season. And
humble.
I took the L responsibility of having to supply dinner at Roof Chris, which Joel has not cashed in yet. Coming soon. But we did double down on the Roof Chris.
Yep.
For this season. And currently, I can humbly say,
to quote Mr. Adrian Broner, I'm getting cooked.
Yo, listen.
I
be hitting Joel up at 1:00. The 1:00 games be over, and I be like, Not to be using Mad Ninja Turtle quotes, but remember that Mary Raphael was eating the apple? He was like, I sure do hope there's more of them. Yo, it'd be 1:00 and it'd be looking super dark.
I'm just saying, it's like, I'm not worried though. Like,
that's a lot of football.
There's a whole lot of
football.
Right now, you're up 4-1.
I am up 4-1.
But like when we sent the doc out yesterday, there was so much red on my side. Yes. Like, was a Black Widow? There's a lot of red in your.
Yeah, like 4 wins.
I think it was like 4-12 or something like that.
Yes.
This was easily the worst week because like the last couple of dubs, like you barely got like two wins to mine, or like it came down to like the last like the primetime games. But it's like, yo,
this
like it was.
I felt like quoting Kobe. It was like, I feel like the ball's this big. The hoops like this big.
Really, because I felt like Kunta Kinte. I was like, good Lord. I was like, everybody going down smoking.
Yo, listen, I ain't been so happy to alter a doc in so long. Like green, red, green.
Do we want to go over our picks for this week real quick, or do you want me to try to like breeze through them?
No, I don't think we need to. I think our other topics are a little more interesting than going over the picks. We know This is week 5 that just happened.
So many.
I just won this week.
Yeah. So like right now it's 4-1.
Yep. And then next week are some tough picks.
But I feel
Because-
like they've all been like that. Like they've been a lot of toss-up games because
Yeah.
nobody's. So I know I made the claim earlier this year that I was like the Patriots are the worst looking team in football,
Right.
And rightly so. B Miz called me out. He was saying I was being a hater, but I was like, no, I was speaking very objectively to it. Like I was like, they did not look like a good football team.
And I told him the same thing, and he was like, "What are the Raiders are really the worst football team?" I was like, I feel like we have a good roster. We're just not playing good football.
I was just about to say
we'll
because
have
like
the same team, have the same record. But I did
because-
say maybe we are
there's whatchamacallit, because you can have a bad record, but like
have a good team.
yeah, and have a good team, and it's like that stuff happens. And like I don't think the Raiders are one of the worst teams in football.
No.
Like looking at it, I think that they played a lot of tough games,
Mhm.
a lot of tough opponents, and they just haven't been up clicking on all cylinders.
Right.
And like that's all there is to it. As far as like the Patriots are concerned, like when Mac Jones went down, I was like, damn, I was like their season's over.
Mhm.
But they've tweaked a couple things. Their defense looks really good,
Mhm.
and they're just like, we're just gonna run the ball with Ramondre Stevenson and Damian Harris, and we're just gonna keep this going. Who now? Excuse me, Damian Harris looks to be hurt because what's the backup's
They-
name? It's like something
they-
Zappa.
They've only Zap.
It's Zap.
Zappe.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But
they definitely only won one game. They played the Detroit Lions, and they thoroughly smacked the Detroit Lions.
I was just about to say, because like this was one of the most high octane offenses in the league,
Yeah.
and they held them to like 3 points or
Yeah,
something like that.
you would have thought they had Teddy Bruschi and Tom back on the roster because them brothers out there making them look crazy. I was like, oh, it's only 3-0. Oh, it's only 10-0. It's 19-0? What is happening right now?
So like, but with that being said,
Mhm.
like I guess like my question is like, who does look like the worst team in football? Because like some people, like now we're getting to the point where people are kind of starting to separate a little bit. Because I think that's been like kind of the hard part about making the picks. Because like not a lot of people look truly awful.
Aside from the Eagles, I still feel like a lot of the records look the same.
Yeah.
A lot of the records look the same. It's pretty even across the playing field, and like the Eagles could hit a patch. Don't come for me, Eagles fans, but they could hit a patch in the season to where they built up a lot of real estate and they end up taking a few L's. You know what I mean? So
I'm looking at it right now,
Mhm.
and there's a couple 1-4 teams and a couple 1-3 teams.
okay,
I'm gonna put some of these teams out there, and like, how about this? Well, I'll put 2 teams out, and you tell me who's worse,
okay,
and then like we'll kind of narrow it down, like who's the bottom couple teams.
okay,
Steelers,
okay.
Texans.
Ooh. Texans,
Texans are worse. Raiders, Texans. Commanders, Texans.
Commanders,
Commanders or Lions.
Commanders,
Commanders or Panthers.
Panthers,
Panthers or Seahawks.
Panthers,
Panthers or Falcons.
Panthers,
Panthers or Bears.
Panthers.
So like I think we're kind of on the same page. And then there's like, if you wanted to do the Colts or the Jaguars, like I don't think either of them are worse than the Panthers.
They're both 1-4.
No, both of those teams are 2-3.
2-3.
But it's like they don't look great.
No, I would take the Jags being worse than the Colts, but I would still say the Jags are better than the Panthers.
Okay, so like I feel like there's really like 3 or 4 teams that are really fighting for like that CJ Stroud pick, which is apparently like
Listen, Raiders, listen. If you're telling me we're going to get CJ, then I'm all for tanking, all right? Let's go ahead and get this first overall pick. We can wipe the slate clean. I mean, we're about to take a punch in the mouth for the Chiefs tonight. I mean, we'll keep it moving from there. I do not mind at all getting CJ Stroud. At all. At all. I'm just saying.
Looking at all these teams though,
Mm-hmm.
there seems to be like a pretty common denominator.
Okay.
Baker Mayfield.
Yep.
Jared Goff.
Yep.
Carson Wentz.
Yep.
Davis Mills.
Yep.
And Kenny Pickett. And it's like if you don't have the quarterback
Derek
that you're
Carr.
looking for, if you don't have the quarterback that like, so all right, you're a coach, right?
Yes.
So like my question to you is, as a coach, do you is like the quarterback's the most important position on the team?
Mm-hmm.
Are you the type where you're like, give me the best talent and then I will work my system around that quarterback?
Mhm.
Or my system is the most important and I need a quarterback who perfectly fits the system? So like if I'm trying to think of like a quarterback that's not like like maybe a Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford's a pretty good quarterback. He's not a great quarterback, but it's like if you're running the system, would you rather have a Matt Stafford or would you be like my system's completely different, but I got Lamar Jackson, so like I need to mold my system after Lamar Jackson, not the other way around.
Oh no, you always want to get. Nah, I would take Lamar.
So you go with the talent.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of like who's a less.
Because I've had teams.
Who's a less talented? What about Kyler Murray? Kyler Murray is a little bit worse than whatchamacallit.
I would take a Kyler Murray
instead of is Matt Stafford
not
just a bad
instead of Matt Stafford?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would take a Kyler Murray.
Is it because he's so dynamic that like you think you just move things around him?
Yes.
And go from there?
Yes.
Because like I think that I agree with you. And first of all, I think the Ravens are absolutely out of their minds for not having already paid and secured this Lamar Jackson thing.
85% of your offensive production.
I don't understand what that is. And I think if there's one thing that I've kind of learned about like this season, and I feel like I've always known it, but I feel like it's a little bit more prevalent this time around, is where are your understudies? Like, where are the proper backup quarterbacks? Like, I feel like the same couple of backup quarterbacks just keep getting cycled through teams.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, your Chase Daniels, your Colt McCoys, like all these guys just keep ending up like on different teams where it's just like, why are you not farming a player that fits this same mold and just like training them up?
Mm-hmm.
So like for instance, the Titans.
So
they got Ryan Tannehill, right? But they got like Malik Willis is like his backup.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he not like Lamar Jackson's backup or Kyler Murray's backup? Like he's a pretty similar style type of guy. He's a little bit younger, and he's also not costing you a first round pick to get him.
Well, I think in those situations, coaches are probably considering changing what their schemes are. But you already have something in place with a quarterback. And given that you want to go in this direction, you have to prepare for that. You can't just turn the leaf over right into it. Because things are going to be unsuccessful. Your team's going to lose. That quarterback's going to be unsuccessful. And then you're going to feel like you failed. Like there has to be an opportunity for that proper changeover to happen. I also feel like a lot of the times coaches forget that players are the ones that play the game and win the game. And sometimes make it about them. And they're less concerned with thinking about the value of that player to that team and just assuming that everything's going to work because of the coach that they are. I think Bill Belichick is humbly learning that now. I think any team that has not paid a quarterback when they should have is learning that. I think the Cowboys are paying that price, even though Dak Prescott looks like he's about to get Tom Brady, Drew Bledsoe.
Yo, Cooper Rush, man, that brother's undefeated so far this season.
Yeah, I think the Ravens are going to learn that when they miss out on the Lamar sweepstakes because I don't see a reason for him to stay in Baltimore.
I don't
see a reason for him to stay in Baltimore. And you have widely disrespected that man, and he's having the best contract year he could ever have. And I feel like they're going to offer him some money. He's going to go elsewhere.
So, like, I'm thinking about that because, like, we have two of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. They're getting ready. Like, they're almost done. If they're not done this year, they're going to be done very, very soon. What's the backup for them? I think they're going to end up looking a lot like the way Pittsburgh looks like right now, where it's like they weren't ready for Ben Roethlisberger to not be there. And granted, Ben Roethlisberger was awful last year. But you can see that the offense moved differently with Ben Roethlisberger versus now they have Kenny Pickett. And it's like he's kind of doing like the trial by fire thing. Like they let him get tore up by the Bills yesterday, but he had a good first game or whatever. But it's like, what? You should have had an understudy, bro.
Yep.
And like you don't do what the Packers did where they wasted a first round pick on Jordan Love. It's like you don't do that when you have that quarterback. But like your 5th, 6th round picks, like those are supposed to be like your understudy quarterbacks. Like, damn, what's the name of the dude?
And sometimes the situation is so tough because the best person to learn your job that you're going to do from is the person currently doing the job. And the trend in the NFL is like a lot of quarterbacks do not want to train the guy who's going to take their job.
And I feel like that always comes down to their first round pick. Because like that's the notion is like, yo, you wasted a first round pick on this dude. You're trying to replace me.
Facts.
And that's what it comes down to. But it's like if you are a 5th or 6th round dude, like you're a project, they're not really worried about you.
Right.
So if they're not worried about you, they have no problem like kind of showing you the ropes, especially if you're very similar to what I am.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
But you got to figure, as a GM, my hands are kind of strapped too, because it's like if you're telling me, let's say this upcoming draft, CJ Stroud's best QB in the draft, right?
Yep.
So I want to get CJ Stroud as a backup plan, but I don't want to disrespect my QB. But there's no way I'm going to get this kid in the 3rd or 4th round and make you feel comfortable. I have to get him now while he's available.
Yeah, I'm not saying like so I'm not talking about like the 1st round quarterbacks because like those are different. These are the guys who they've mismanaged their quarterbacks situation or whatever, and it's like either they're taken for them or they just didn't have a plan. And that's what I mean. It's like they didn't even have a plan. So it's like now they're just like, I really hope that this guy's the answer. I really hope this guy's the answer. Same thing with the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence. Like they didn't have. Like they didn't have someone that was already there ahead of time. Like I feel like the Tennessee Titans. I know that they
not took Trevor Lawrence because he's terrible.
I don't think Trevor Lawrence is the problem with that team. I think that offensive line is awful, and I think that, like his weapons aren't that amazing.
Okay,
but I think he has the mechanics and stuff to do it. Even though sometimes he makes some stupid ass decisions with some throws that he makes.
Yep.
Especially deep balls. Like that's where he gets into a lot of his trouble. But yeah, like I'm trying to think like the Washington Commanders. They haven't known what their quarterback situation's been for like the last 8 years.
It's been
like when's the last time that they had somebody that like they're trying to figure out or like follow through? It's like Ryan Tannehill's made a pretty decent career for himself, like when he transitioned from Miami to Tennessee. But then it's like you should have known like he was never a top 5 quarterback.
Right.
So he is like a journeyman. He's not going to win you games, but he's not going to lose you games. He's a very okay quarterback. You're supposed to be training somebody behind that guy. And it's like now they have Malik Willis, but like Malik Willis is such a different quarterback than Ryan Tannehill. It's like you're not really setting him up for the same type of success.
Where did Malik come? Florida State? No.
Nebraska? Clemson? I don't know.
Use that stuff on.
Wisconsin?
I'm just going to keep saying.
I am
not knowing.
Yeah. But it's just like, you know what I mean? And it's like, that's what I think is like, I watch like a lot of these teams and I'm just like, these guys really have no idea. Like they're really just winging it.
Right.
And like, I think it's pretty dope that we've been seeing like a lot of guys getting their second chances now. For instance, like the Marcus Mariotas, the Geno Smiths, and it's like, they're not really fumbling the bag.
Right. Right.
But at the same time, I think the teams are just lucky that they're playing up to it because it could have very easily been a Mitch Trubisky situation. Where it was like, now they've wasted like 3 games trying the Mitchell Trubisky experiment for whatever reason, and it's like Najee Harris looks awful now. Chase Claypool has done absolutely nothing this year. Deontay Johnson looks bad. Like the whole nothing's clicking because like you just had them start off on the wrong foot because you were committed to this guy for what reason at all.
Right.
Like you know what I mean? You're doing stopgap quarterbacks, and that's never the way that you want to do it.
Right.
No, but that was kind of like just like my piece on the whole quarterback thing.
First man's got like 2 different helmets on.
What do you mean he's got 2?
He's like in an Auburn jersey, and then he's in.
What the hell is that? Maryland?
I don't know.
But
I'm just gonna say Auburn because he has on the Auburn jersey. But right here he has.
Louisville?
That ain't Louis. Is that Louisville? Liberty. That might be high school.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah, that's probably high school. So we'll say Auburn. He was in Auburn.
Okay. But yeah, and it's like I know that like injuries and stuff like that happen, but like look at the Panthers, bro. Like you got Sam Darnold there, you got Baker Mayfield there, and it's like what is really going on? Jacoby Brissett's another one that he's making the Cleveland Browns look pretty good right now.
Yep.
They spent all that money on Deshaun Watson, and like he's not even playing football, but Jacoby Brissett is winning you guys games right now. Granted, Nick Chubb is doing a lot of that too, but like Jacoby Brissett looks perfectly fine.
Yes. Him, I think. Before Teddy got the Tua treatment, Teddy was looking good.
But we already knew Teddy Bridgewater was a good quarterback.
Certified, yeah.
He just he was always hurt. That's all it was. He just kept getting hurt.
I feel like there's somebody else that I'm missing. There's definitely someone else that I'm missing.
I mean,
I think one of the things are too is just like the league hates mobile quarterbacks.
Not anymore.
No. They still hate them. They will give them a chance if they're winning you games.
Yeah.
But as soon as things go awry for a few games or maybe a season,
you can't throw, you're not the guy, and we need to get you up out of here. But then other quarterbacks who are not like that, they're given the time to not be good to see if they're going to get better before they lose their job, and there's less leniency with mobile quarterbacks.
Well, if you look at the best teams in the NFL, like Buffalo with Josh Allen, Baltimore with Lamar Jackson, Philly with Jalen Hurts, like they're all mobile quarterbacks.
Chiefs with
Patrick Mahomes, he's not the most like gonna run all over you. Like he has what you call it. He
extends the pocket. What's the thing that they like most about Ben Roethlisberger? He wasn't super mobile, but inside the pocket he was, and he would extend.
He could eat a hit. Ben Roethlisberger eat the first hit,
right,
and then slang that joint.
Right. So it's like you say all these things about QBs that are mobile, but then their mobility is what helps you win games. And some people just don't like seeing the game that they quote unquote grew up with or possibly created changing and going in another direction.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what it is. This is what it is. Like, it's kind of weird because at one point the league was all about running backs and having a good O-line. And it's like you would have one stellar wide receiver. Now teams want to have 2-3 stellar receivers, and they're throwing the ball 40, 50 times a game. Like, the game is changing. The game is changing.
Speaking of the game changing and people getting hurt, we did not get a chance to talk about the Tua situation.
Yes.
Which was super wild.
Yes, it was.
And it was like, of course, this is happening on Thursday Night Football. It's the only game on. So everybody's watching this. So, like, you'd already know my phone was going crazy that day. Like, you know. But, like, and it was obviously, like, a very unfortunate situation.
I'm glad you're, feeling better.
Apparently he's better. Apparently a lot of experts have told him that he should literally quit playing football.
Yes, that's what I heard too. I don't know how true it was or the validity of the reports, but
right. And I don't know if I was him, like how I would think about it. Obviously, like I would want him to keep playing, but I want him to be healthy at the same time.
I do know they made that doctor the scapegoat.
Oh, absolutely.
I know. I do not doubt for sure that everybody knew full and well what was going on. And the doctor just presumably had to be the person to take the fall. And
I think Tua knew what was going on too.
Ruin this man's career.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the doctor was probably like, "Nah, you need to chill." And he's like, "I'm an NFL player. I need to get back out there." And the coach was like, "Doc, is he okay?" Well, he said he's okay. Okay, he's okay. We're going. That's exactly how those things happen. We've all seen Any Given Sunday.
Yeah.
Cat Rooney. Give him the shot. Give him the shot.
Give him the cortisone.
Right? Remember when hey Doc, I'm trying to get these sacks, man. So give me that cortisone, some of that good stuff. Yeah.
I'm not trying to play for $1 million.
Right. Doc. Don't drop me. I'm worth $1 million. Right. But like everybody smiled at that part, but he was definitely giving that man cortisone shot so he can get through the game.
Yeah.
It's like you put people in bad decisions to where they have to question their ethics and like, what do? Do I say no to these people so I get blackballed from the career I've been trying to get to my entire life? Or do I say yes and hope it flies under the radar, but the one time doesn't, I get held responsible. You know what I mean? So it's just like...
And I already know that there's going to be like an investigation done on it. I'm sure it's already started. But like the big thing is like they've already...
The situation is not the only situation.
Not at all. But it's like it was obviously the most scary, and it was very like it was very right there in front of everybody. Right. But because of that, they just came down and they changed the rule now, where it's like pretty much if you go to the concussion tent, like you're done for the game. Right. Like, that's kind of like what it is, and it's like it sounds good, but I'm like also like worried about. Because, like, now you're doing the other thing, too, where it's like, yo, don't even send me to the tent.
Right.
Like, yo, don't send me to the tent, because if they send me to the tent or whatever.
I'm not
because your boy, Chris Olave, went down this week.
Yes.
And he was looking crazy, bro.
Yes. And they said that he wasn't going to return. And they said it right on my fantasy joint, listed as questionable to out. And then it went from out to questionable. It was like, so how did it improve over a stem of a quarter?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't...
he was literally doing the same thing. He had his hands out like this. He was down for the count. And it's just like... I want the NFL to be safer, and I'm pretty sure that's what everybody else wants as well. But it's just like it's such a tough precedent because like how much are you have to save people from themselves, but then it's like you have to give them agency like as well to like make their own decisions. But like I can't even think of what the Lions defender was, but like he went down in the middle of the game like out of nowhere. Like he did like a quick chop block or whatever, and he went down and like they had to send him to the hospital. I'm like, yo, what is going on with these dudes, man?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. So I don't know, man. I feel like it's going to take more than what's happening right now for people to understand that people have to make better judgment with other people's safety.
Because I'll tell you right now, if Tua came out tomorrow, and this is like, I'm a Dolphins fan. That's my quarterback. Tua came out tomorrow and was like, I'm retiring from the league. I'm done. like I can't do this anymore, I wouldn't be mad at him. I'd be like, nah, bro. Like I saw that joint. Like I get it. Like I'd be a little disappointed because I'd be like, damn. I feel like we're a better team. Like when Tua was our quarterback. But it's like at the same time, it's like, yo, I don't want something to be happening again, like in the middle of a game or like at the end of the season, this brother doesn't wake up from sleeping or something like that. Right. I couldn't I don't want nothing like that. It's like, and I'm fine with Teddy Bridgewater for the rest of the year. That's what we have to do. I just think
he's out too.
For right now, but like his was a lot quicker. They said he's already ready to be back for the next week.
I say the same thing about Tua.
No, it was a little bit different. We went from a Thursday game to a Sunday game. It's a little different. It's a little bit different.
Oh, it went from Thursday to Sunday.
Yeah.
That's
what I mean.
Days.
Or Sunday to Thursday. That's what I meant. It was
Sunday to Thursday.
He got cracked on Sunday, and then on Thursday night football.
Still only a few days.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, you always want to choose safety over everything, but I also tell people because it became a topic of discussion when I was in class this past weekend, and I was like letting people know, like, I mean, I know they're blaming the doctor and they're saying all this stuff went wrong, but like, if I'm Tua and I'm in his position as well, and I got this great team, and I want to continue to be the leader of this team, and I've already spent all this time out, the last thing I want to do is be out for more time and potentially not be the quarterback for this team. So, like, I'm assuming the risk of saying, hey, I want to go back out here and keep my job or keep playing. Like, it's, I made the comparison of, like, being a police officer or being a firefighter. Like, you assume the responsibility of the dangers that come with the job that you have accepted, and neither one of those professions get paid what an NFL quarterback gets paid. No. You know what I mean? So it's like, if like I'm saying that I could potentially change my life and my family's life for generations to come by going out here and throwing this football and putting myself at risk, a lot of people are going to say I'm okay with that. So I don't want people to just feel like football is this whole monstrous sports, and the people that are making decisions around other people or even themselves.
But it is dangerous.
It's a dangerous sport.
Which is why they get paid so much money.
Huh?
Which is why they get paid so much money.
Why they get paid so much money. I almost feel like Big Boy when he pulled up on Old Boy in Atlanta. He's like, remember what I told you, right? It's grown man business.
I still haven't seen this movie, bro. I'm not gonna watch ATL. Like, can we just get over that?
All right, so listen, speedy recover for Tua. But I
prayers up and fins up.
Right. But I also hope that something like this doesn't ruin the game of football.
Yeah.
Because every Sunday that guys put on their equipment, they know that this is a possibility, and they still go out there and play the game that they love and hope that they come off the field safely. And sometimes it doesn't work out that way for everybody. But I don't believe that it changes the love for those men that are out there on the field. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's all I had for the Blitz. I didn't know if you had anything else.
No, that was it.
All right, so we wrapping this up. Do you have a what you call it?
I have a cultural gem. It's been so long.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Hey, and this is our 50th cultural
50th?
50th cultural gem.
You just did it again, Mike Tyson. Yeah.
This is cultural gem pick number 50.
Wow, you really not gonna go for 50th?
50th. Nope. All right, I have a really
impregnable. So dominating.
I eat your kids. All praise be I'm still not watching that show. Just so y'all know, don't watch that show, man, because Tyson said don't watch it. All right, just so you know. All right, so I wanted to make sure that I had the year right. All right.
Okay.
So very good movie, starring none other than my boy Michael B. Jordan. It's definitely based on a true story of events that happened to a young man named Oscar.
Yep.
And it's none other than 2013's Fruitvale Station. All right.
It's a fire movie.
It is definitely a fire movie. For those who may not have seen the movie, I can give you a quick summary of the movie. But basically, Michael B. Jordan's character, Oscar, is just like in between jobs, trying to make a living. He's a father of a young girl. He's trying to do the right thing for his family. Long story short, he's in a train station where him and some other people get pulled off the train by some police officers after an incident happens. and he ends up getting treated unfairly by the cops and loses his life.
So if I'm not mistaken, this is also Ryan Coogler's directing debut.
Who's Ryan Coogler? Why does that
Bro,
name sound
the
so...
director of Black Panther, Ryan Coogler, the
Is it
director.
Ryan Coogler?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry.
It's his directorial debut, and it's like one of the reasons why him and Michael B. Jordan have worked together so many times.
And his brother's in the movie, too, Keenan Coogler.
I have no idea who that is.
It's Ryan Coogler's brother, I'm assuming. I don't know too many people that may be named Coogler, but there is a Keenan Coogler in the movie. But, matter of fact, wait. Keenan Coogler is... Nope, I'm sorry. He looked a little bit like the kid from the wood. That picture right there. Look, come on, man. Look at that picture right there.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. But so
they all look alike.
It's a very intense story. I would definitely suggest that if you're watching it, that you're aware of like the sensitivity of the movie. If you're gonna watch it with your children, make sure that they're aware of some of these things that are happening around them in the world, and that they're prepared, that you know that they're prepared emotionally to receive something like this. But it's just a continuous story of like how people see us in our skin and how they feel that we should be represented, rather than giving us the just due of fair treatment as any other American citizen.
Well, it's a police brutality movie before we were ready to have the conversation about police brutality.
Boom.
You know what I mean? It's one of those things that like we know that this is a thing, but I think America as a whole wasn't really ready to have this conversation. I think what this movie did really well is it painted the picture of like both sides, because like the way the news will portray it, and like even the way Oscar's story was portrayed, it was very much like, you know, this guy was being aggressive and he wasn't complying, he wasn't doing this, and like that's why he's lost his life, because that's what everybody does is like, dude, just comply. He was trying to, like, at one point in time, and it was like it didn't matter at that point in time, because like they had already passed that point. And
even though you feel like you may know the whole movie based on this summary, it's definitely still a good movie to watch, and you would still be like, wow. It's definitely one of those movies that gets your attention.
Because what it really comes down to is like, I think when a lot of these stories and stuff do happen, like when we talk about George Floyd and things of that nature, people talk about, I feel like they don't say it exactly like this, but some people be like, well, I mean, like, that's what you get, or like you deserve that because you did this. And it's like, when you come down to it, like, no matter what type of person you are, or like what some of the things that like you have done, you don't deserve to lose your life for any sort of reason that isn't like a situation where it's like a life or death, like you're fighting, or like or an accident, or like whatever it may be. It's like, this was a whole situation that like it could have happened to anybody, but that's just not what happened. And it was just like, for him, I believe he had a record, because that was his whole thing, right? He had just gotten out of jail, and that's why he was like having a hard time to keep jobs, and like, you know, he's trying to support the young girl or whatever, and all he's trying to do is take his girl out and have a good night.
That's all he's trying to do.
And like, you know, when he passed, like a lot of people were talking about, well, he's a former convict, like he's this and it's like, but that's not what happened.
They control the narrative.
Yeah, you're painting a whole different picture. So then this movie shows like the other side of it. It was just like, well, he's just a dude trying to figure stuff out. He's not a bad guy, even though he went to jail. Like, he's still not a bad person. It's just a bad thing that happened to him, and that doesn't make it okay that he lost his life.
Facts.
But I thought Fruit Devastation was phenomenal. I think I've seen it like 3 or 4 times. So, and it's one of Michael B. Jordan's best, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Even though he's been in some pretty iconic stuff, but
he has. But this was one of the first ones where you were like,
this is his first leading man role. This is his first leading role.
All right, and this is one of those chances where I think this is where I was first like, all right, I'm a Michael B. Jordan fan.
Because I kind of bang with him on The Wire though, and on Friday Night Lights.
Nah, Friday Night Lights. Nah. He was thorough on Friday.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I've always been down with Michael B. Jordan.
And then he had the one movie where they him and his friends got the superpowers.
Chronicle.
Yes, Chronicle.
But I just remember watching Friday Night Lights, and I was like, "Is that Wallace from The Wire?"
Right.
And I was mad, because I was like, "Yo, the way they did Wallace on The Wire, that still sits with me today."
That man turned that team around too.
Oh man, yeah, he
turned
did.
that team around.
He was the Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. All right, but yeah, that's all I had, man. That's all I had, man.
I'm sorry that I went so long on the movies, man, because you know I've been trying to get back to this heavyweight lovers thing.
It's okay, man. It's all right.
What does that mean?
Listen. Things have changed for us. All right. so we will be more consistent with the episodes. I know people been
Even though
calling
this
me.
weekend won't be it because I'm going to be in Philly.
You'll be in Philly, but
Yeah.
maybe we'll try to get something before you leave to Philly. Get the people a little dose of something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just record my own thing, just upload it like a small. Let me never say.
Maybe you hit me up from Philly and we'll do something real quick and throw it up there.
Hell no, I'm gonna be blacked out in Philly. I know what you talking about.
Hey, maybe we record something while you at the game. Like, look at that
Absolutely
homie in
not.
Philly.
Absolutely not.
You're gonna be a full
Absolutely not.
Kevin Hart championship mode.
Absolutely
Let me
not.
on the stage. Let me on the stage.
I've already told my friend. I was like, yo, listen, like I know that like we're gonna be having a lot of fun. We're going to the tailgating. We're doing all this other stuff. Please do not let people put a microphone around me because you already know I'm gonna go crazy. And you know, all I gotta do is hear the instrumental. The even though what we do is wrong, the sun come up. I'm going crazy.
I can see you on the jumbotron.
I gotta sell this crack to
see you
feed
on the
my son,
Jumbotron.
bro. That's all I know.
I can see you on the
sell this-
jumbotron. I can see you on the jumbotron.
It is like it'll be bad, bro. Like, don't let them put a microphone in front of you. And like, you already know how the stadium music goes too. And it's like, oh, I'm gonna be whatchamacallit.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you know, safe travels.
Yeah.
Come back safely.
One
All right?
piece.
Don't be one of those people that get into the after game brawl. There's been a lot of those happening during NFL games.
I don't know, because I'm definitely gonna pretend like I was born and raised in Philly. Like, you know what I'm saying? But if anybody asks me, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's just like,
the
I got
accent
to.
ain't there. You better be working on it on the ride down.
Damn, I gotta get an accent. If I just sound like Will Smith.
No, you gotta at least pick up on the slang lingo, man. You gotta say something.
All right, I'm gonna watch Creed before I go to try to get the lingo down.
There you go.
All right.
Man, keep a cheesesteak in your pocket.
We definitely get a cheesesteak. That's 100%.
Listen, please bring me one back.
I'm not. You don't even want me to send you the videos of where I'm going.
No,
You already know what they look like.
No, I don't. But yeah, you know, until next time when we see y'all, like we said, we're gonna be way more consistent, man. You know, jobs, bills, everything's going on, but we're gonna at least get back to once a week, man. Because y'all been asking for us, man. I appreciate the loyal following. All right. So other than that,
Didn't you have a raffle question that you wanted to kind of throw out?
yeah, I'm gonna save it for next episode.
You gonna save it for that?
Yeah,
All
'cause
right.
I'm excited. I want to present it well. Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah. Time to win some merch, people. All right. Till next time, we'll holla at y'all.
Same bad time, same bad channel.
Peace.